I'd like to call this Town of Cedar Lake Plan Commission work session for June 2nd, 2021 to order. This special work session, 6 p.m. to go over ordinance modifications. Would everyone please stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call, please.
Robert Carnahan is not here. John Foreman is not here. Richard Sharp.
Here.
Heather Dessauer. Present. Chuck Decker.
Here.
John Kapura.
Present.
Jerry Wilkening.
Here.
John Oliver.
Here.
David Austin is not with us yet. Mr. Everly.
Here.
Jill Murphy. Present.
No.
And Margaret Abernathy, recording secretary pro tem.
Thought it was.
Okay,
Thought it was here.
thank you very much. I guess for the next 55 minutes, we're going to continue to go over the zoning ordinances, ordinance modifications and amendments, with Mr. Everly leading us. We're on page 12, chapter 5.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, does anybody have any questions or concerns or comments on page 12, chapter 5? Let the record show Mr. Carnahan's here.
I left my cell phone on the charger
Okay,
and had the truck.
thank you.
I'm gonna go back and get it.
I'm sorry, Jerry, which page are we on?
Page 12, chapter 5.
Page 12.
20 of
It's,
the PDF,
20.
if you're going that way,
Okay,
yeah.
that's why I was confused, thank you.
Well, now I'm confused.
20, it's chapter 5, page 12, or page 20 of the PDF.
Okay, all right.
Oh, okay.
Let me stick with one thing.
Good idea.
You stick with this, okay, the pencil, the hard copy.
So, the change that I had on that was eliminating section D, accessory uses and buildings, because it conflicts with a later section on accessory uses and building in a later section of the zoning ordinance.
All right, does anyone have any questions about that?
It just states the same thing later, is that what you're saying?
No, this actually limits, Heather, the building size is to 250 square feet, when the other section of the zoning ordinance allows it to be a certain size based on the size of the lot, and they were in total conflict with each other.
Gotcha.
And then throughout the document, we had agreed that we would eliminate the height requirement, the two-story height requirement, and just go with a certain number of feet, 35, 33, whatever it's gonna be, and get rid of the two-story limitation, the story limitation. Item 11 there, the front yard, just made that, each lot shall front on a dedicated and improved public or private street. Current language, I think, says public, or it says improved street. We wanted to make sure that it could be either public or private, as long as it's on an improved street.
All right,
And improved means per town specs?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Item 12 there, side yard, we agreed we're gonna, wherever possible, we're gonna get rid of the reference to percentages of either lot widths, or, side yard widths or rear yard widths, depth, whatever it is. Now, on that next one, let's see if that was specific to this zoning district. No, we wanted, the rear yard to be 30 foot rather than 25%.
and lot coverage is going to stay at 25%?
Yeah, lot coverage will stay at a percentage, yes.
Okay, item 15, corner lots.
And the corner lot setback is to be the same as the front yard setback.
Okay. Let's see, item 16 is good. 17, we're changing it from 960 to 1,100 square feet.
Correct.
Okay. Metal and post buildings, those are two different things, aren't they?
They're the same, they're one and the same or also different?
I think we refer to them as one and the same, Jerry.
Well, because-
I don't think we make the distinguish between them. The building is a metal and post building, not metal or post.
So if the building's all metal, does it still fit in here? Because we've had those in front of us.
Yes, you have. I think just recently, maybe at a BZA meeting, yeah.
And
I
it
think-
wasn't resolved since then back.
Chapter 5.
That was, yeah, I'm talking about one that was requested on a across the street lot up on Cedar Point Park, up on top.
All right.
So, is there some language modification can be made with that?
Do you want to make it a metal or post building?
I don't know what the best language would be. I just know that what this is describing is one kind of product, and what's been in front of us is a different kind of product.
Well, you have to have a metal and post, you just can't have a post, but you can have a metal building without the post part.
Yeah, if we just change that and to an or, that would,
Indoor.
yeah. Does that work for everybody?
Well, if it's legal,
Metal and post building types of construction shall not be permitted in this residential zoning district as primary or accessory use. Is that what you guys are reading?
yes, sir, number 18.
Any accessory building greater than 1,001 square feet in size shall be exempt from this provision.
Yeah, which I found to be an odd
That's weird.
That is odd.
exception, but,
It's
I
almost
believe
like it's more obstructive
you
when
would
it's
think
bigger.
the larger would be
Yeah,
worse.
it's more,
But you have to have a certain size lot. I think it's an acre lot that you have to get 1,000, is it 2 acre, Jerry?
To get a metal, you need 2 acres, I believe, to get a metal and post building.
Well, and the size of the building has to, the size of the building is dependent on the lot size. That's what I was referring to on your question, Heather, whether, when we were talking about the conflict, between accessory structure language on the previous page. See if I can, Jill, maybe you can find that while we're discussing it, but it's we allow accessory buildings of a certain size, square footage, based on the lot size of the property. And I think to have 1,000 square feet or more, you had to have an acre of land. So my guess is that previously your approach was if you have that large a parcel, then Jill found it in chapter 11, page 74. You need 15,000 square feet to an acre. To get up to 1,000 square feet, over 1,000 square feet, you need 1.01 to 2 acres. So yes, for 1,001 square foot building or larger, you need an acre or between 1 and 2 acres. So I think, my guess is that heretofore, the approach was if you've got that much property, a metal and post building is permissible on that lot.
I guess the first sentence in there is metal and post building types of construction shall not be permitted. That kind of covers something lacking post. That's all metal,
Okay.
I guess.
Maybe that's what it was after, yeah.
Because we did have a petitioner here some time ago, again, Cedar Point Park on top of the hill, who had a house on the hill and he owned a property across the street. And he wanted to put an all-metal garage up, all metal.
Yeah.
And, he was here quite a while trying to argue his case and,
But I would think the language in here prohibits that,
okay,
again, unless that lot, and that that lot in there is not an acre or more, so,
not even close.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
section F, off-street parking. Anybody see anything there that, concerns them?
Mm-mm.
All right, item 2. This is a good one.
This is my favorite.
Oh, you got a lot of
I
favorites.
made the trucking company's magazine for this subject when I first became a council person.
What are we talking about, gentlemen?
Item two,
Section F,
parking and
number
storage
2.
of certain vehicles.
Oh,
I think it's fine.
Yep. All right,
Wait, so you're okay with RVs in the front yard?
That's
As long as
just-
it's licensed?
As
RV
long
is
as it's
something
licensed,
separate.
should
Is
not
it?
be parked or stored in
RV is separate. That doesn't say RV. This,
Doesn't
I
say-
think there's another
Says auto-
section talking about RVs.
automotive vehicles or
boats.
trailers of any type. Are you, what are you getting at, Don?
No, I read it funny,
Okay.
but that's something that's in other communities. I don't know if it's in other portions of this
Well,
ordinance.
in our community, we have rules against like parking semis, for example. And that's what I, was marked in a magazine about 6 or 8 years ago. Because we said, no, you can't do it. And we had some people that thought it was a good idea. And, but most HOAs cover that on our behalf. But I believe in our green book, it says something about boats and trailers and RVs must be parked not in the front yard, but
But they can be parked on the property
On the
because
property
we're
behind the front
resort
house line.
area. But I think in subdivisions and stuff, they have restrictions on that, but
But somewhere in our zoning ordinance, I think we had notes about it.
I got something against that right there. It does state in there that if you park a trailer, it has, in the front, it has to be in the driveway. It can't be in the grass. If you park it around the side or in back, then it could be in the grass.
Okay.
yeah, that's the way I
I'm
remember.
pretty sure
But
that
this
is.
item too, I think it's fine the way it is.
The way we have it right now, as president of the HOA for, Robin's Nest, you know, we're not supposed to have trailers or RVs in the front yard. But they park them on the street, it's considered town property. And town does not have ordinance about not having a licensed trailer or an RV on the street.
I think that's what number 2 is, isn't it? The trailer parked in the street with no license plate, wouldn't this number 2
Well,
cover
no,
that?
I'm saying if they're even license plate, if it's license plate,
Right,
Yeah.
most communities, most subdivisions don't even let you park your boat for more than 5 days or
Correct.
something.
but if it's parked on the street, if it's on the street, it's town property, what are you gonna do?
If it's
Still
plated,
part
if
of
it's
the
plated.
subdivision, though.
It's plated, it's on the street,
But it's still part of
it's
the
a town street,
subdivision.
it's not the POA,
But it's part of the platted subdivision.
Yeah,
No,
There's
but
plenty
it's a
of,
public street.
but there's plenty of areas that don't have an HOA or
Yeah.
POA here.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm saying,
If
as POA, you know, on the POA, it's on the street, because now that the town
Right, but this,
incorporated the streets now, unless the street, or the town has the ordinance saying you can't park a trailer or RV that's licensed on the street, no, you can't do nothing about it.
I guess,
I'm just telling you what,
Town code, it's not in the zoning ordinance.
yeah,
right,
Yeah, okay.
It's
Okay.
another section of the town code,
Yeah.
not zoning ordinance. And
Okay.
you're right, Chuck, this just came up, I just had a resident complain about a trailer that was parked in the street in Robin's Nest. Talked to the police chief about it, and he said, nothing can be done about
Nope.
it as long as it's a plated
right.
vehicle.
As long as it's plated,
Yeah.
it's on the street, we don't own the street.
And evidently, it's been discussed at the council level in the past, I'm told, to change that regulation, and there's not been the will to do it. That's what I.
well, I think that should be changed. We don't want
That's right.
boat trailers parked around town.
But you know what?
That's a little hokey.
Well, I can understand having it on there during the summer months, you know, if
Not me.
But again, gang,
Well, you know
that's
what?
not in the zoning.
You can
ordinance.
afford
wait,
maybe,
wait, wait.
That,
I live on a corner lot.
Yeah,
We-
I can't put it in my front yard. I can't put it in my driveway.
yeah.
But yet, if I put it on a drive, or on the street, I'm legal.
But the fact
Yeah.
that we are a lake community, Chuck,
It's
It's
a lake,
even
it's
more
a
the reason not to
residential
allow it.
community.
Yeah.
Guys, if we don't stay on focus here,
Yeah,
this
we
second
got-
seven
we
is
gotta-
incomplete.
Yeah,
Not in the
you're right, Heather.
zoning.
Right.
Yeah.
Merging
You're right,
forward.
Heather.
Yeah,
This-
there's,
This that you're talking about, Jerry, this item number 2 here is on a person's lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
I agree, Heather.
All right.
Let's roll.
Section G.
Section G,
Thanks, Mom.
Shall, anybody have any questions about section G? Nope. Section H, that's pretty well covered.
Do you just wanna strip lighting out of this entirely? Cause I looked at chapter 14, and it notes like 2 small sections of the overall ordinance. Does it make sense to just strip it completely out?
Well, the lighting ordinance, doesn't it,
Yeah, section 14 references the lighting ordinance,
right, and I think the lighting ordinance needs to be in this
referenced in
document.
some form or fashion.
As opposed to being just referenced in here, I think it needs to be in there.
Okay,
The lighting ordinance, the most recent lighting ordinance needs to be in the zoning ordinance,
okay.
yeah.
I agree with that.
All right. 5.2, R2 zoning district. Permitted uses, single family, common facilities, accessory buildings, supplemental district regulations, chapter 11. All uses permitted in wetlands and watercourse district. What does that mean?
Well, this is, our zoning ordinance is what's called cumulative, so the least restrictive zoning district uses are allowed in the next zoning district and so on. So since we're putting wetlands and watercourse back in the zoning ordinance, or keeping it in the zoning ordinance as a zoning district, the language, in the current ordinance says that's one of the uses allowed in that all uses permitted in the wetlands and watercourse zoning district are allowed in R1, R2, and all of the other zoning districts as we go down the line.
Okay.
So we're just putting that back in there. Because at one point, we were considering taking wetlands and watercourse district out of the zoning ordinance as a zoning district, but we decided against that. We're gonna leave it in. So there are things like ball fields that are allowed, playgrounds that are allowed in, wetlands and watercourse district, and that helps allow them in some of these in all the other zoning districts as well.
Okay. Section C, you removed the special exception.
Yeah, it was just, we basically rearranged that, and got rid of, it was awkwardly worded where it was in this, in the current zoning ordinance, so, it made it look like home occupations, for example, and nameplates or signs had to be special exceptions, and that's not the case. They're allowed uses in, that zoning district, so we had to get rid of that title there.
Okay, anybody have any questions about, number 9, in the paragraph below it?
Nope.
Accessory uses in buildings, that's, well, taken out.
Right, that's the one that conflicts with the
Gotcha.
section we mentioned earlier.
Okay, section E, bulk requirements, item 1, the height. We all kind of agreed last time we went over this that 33 feet is a good peak height. The measurement is taken from 12 inches below the top of the foundation. Lot width, lot area and width.
Can I ask one question?
Yeah,
Going backwards in section E, you referenced the height as 35. Is
I
that
agree,
different?
Heather, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's 45 here.
R1. R1 is 35.
No, so when we first started,
It was 35.
yeah, what's the difference between that and?
Right, so that's what we talked about, do we wanna go 30, do we wanna split the difference and go 34 in both districts, do we want it 35, do we want it 33? I think the conversation was, let's pick a height that.
Well, if a person puts 9-foot ceilings, so that gives you 10 foot per floor, so it's 10 foot and 10 foot with 9-foot ceilings, because you have your floor joist, or ceiling joist, whatever you wanna call it. So that's 20 feet, right? Then if you put like an attic above that, at a 12 pitch, you're gonna be another, what, 12 feet? So I think either one's gonna be adequate. I don't think anyone's gonna exceed that.
Yeah, so I think we just wanna pick a,
Whoa.
We wanna pick a number. I'm confused that everybody's looking at something different again.
Yeah, 'cause I have 45 on mine, she's got 35 on hers.
And you've got a different page, you have a different screen than I do. Page 5, chapter 5, wait. no,
chapter 5,
Because
page
you're in a
12.
different page.
Chapter 5, page 15.
I'm at
I know,
page 15.
but in chapter 5, page 12, that's where the R1 height is, and it's currently 35 feet.
Yes.
Chapter 5, page 15 is the R2 height at 33 feet. And last time we talked about this, we said, okay, let's pick one or the other, but no reason why they should be taller in R1 than R2.
I mean, I think it should just be 35.
I would
make
say
it 35.
35, yeah, I agree with
Yeah, let's
that.
just make it 35.
Should the R1 have the same basis for the starting measurement that
Yeah,
R2 does?
Yes.
And how does this work with, say, walkouts?
with what?
Like a walkout? Like, say,
Yeah.
one's on the lake,
Well,
or it's built into a hill. Where do you
I
take
think
your
you
height
don't count a
from?
basement.
No,
This doesn't count a basement, that's all.
That's why Tim used to say,
You take
know,
the
the-
mean measurement.
Yes.
Tim used to say the bottom of the garage floor.
Yeah, he always does reference to
Yeah,
garage.
you gotta reference the garage floor or the apron out
Because
front.
you say
or
below
12
top of
inches below
foundation, you
that, or
technically have
whatever
two
it was, yeah.
foundations on walkouts.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe we go with, based off of,
I think it's good the way it is. I mean, this is not different than what Tim.
So we can
was saying the way he
interpret
did it.
foundation.
Yeah, but do we have to put that in there?
Well, do we call the lakefront the front, the backyard? This is a never-ending circle
Yeah.
of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you can leave it vague, we can interpret
the
it.
answer is no.
I don't know.
and you can't use garage floor because Bianchi has a garage down below by the lake. So, yeah.
What's a garage? Okay. All right, so everybody's good with 35.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Last chance, okay, 35 it is. Okay, minimum lot area, 80 by 125 was a number that was working out really well, with 30-foot backyard. Anybody questions about, lot area, front yard, side yard, each having a width of not less than 8 feet? That's pretty, the aggregate width of both side yards on any lot may not be that 20, that's
Percentage, yeah.
crazy. 30 feet, lot coverage, 25%, corner lots, street or front yard, building size, everybody's good with that, attached garages, 1,100, item 10, metal and post buildings, exceptions, parking requirements, off-street parking,
I have a question on attached garages.
yeah.
Why would we limit in R2? Well, I guess that is pretty big garage if you get above 1,100 square feet. Never mind.
I have a question on building size. Do we see a lot of houses under 1,500 square feet? I feel like we do.
They're all right at that. All these little cottage homes that are being built.
Are they
They're
1,600?
1,600, 1,550,
And
1,700.
that's why some are 2 stories to get the square footage.
Yeah. That seems a little crazy to me, but.
Okay.
So no tiny house provision in our community? Heather?
Without a PUD or variance.
Okay.
Sure.
Well, I mean, like, what, 20% of these houses here are still
Okay.
800 square feet?
No, you're right.
Thank you.
Keep moving, I'm sorry, Terry.
That's right. Yeah, the tiny house thing.
I like tiny houses.
Well, yeah,
We
yeah,
know.
somewhere else.
Trailer park would have been a cool tiny house community. We let
Wait, but
trailers.
that means I can have a tiny house on a trailer and park it in Chuck's neighborhood.
Yeah, man, on the road.
Yeah, on the
And
road.
live there.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I love it.
Just park it over the storm sewer.
Yeah, there you go. Nice.
Okay, section F, off-street parking, 2 parking spaces, single-family dwelling, not more than 4 spaces. Let's see, parking and storage of certain vehicles, without current license plate, be parked and stored in any residential zoned or resort zone property, other than completely enclosed buildings. You know, this is gonna get legally challenged someday. Section G, landscape requirements, chapter 13, lighting, chapter 14. Let's see, R3, RT zoning district,
What's your concern with the section F number 4? Why did you say that?
Well, look at,
because it says zoned, residential zoned. And this is what we're talking about, you know, the street, the house is in this, it says zoned here, it doesn't say public road, it says zoned.
Is there a better way to phrase that? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know.
Should we circle it and talk to?
Under R2, it's
Yeah.
labeled as 3 and 4 versus 1 and 2.
Come back to it all the time.
well, I think what we need is a ruling on whether or not a vehicle without a motor and a plate is allowed to be parked on a road. And I think that's the question.
Is that a big problem here? I don't see that as a big problem. I drive around this town all day long.
I don't,
I don't see
but
many
some
streets.
side neighborhoods may have boat trailers parked on the road, I don't know, or next to the
You
road.
live on a lake, so, I mean,
And it's a resort community, so if you have a boat with a trailer, it doesn't have a motor, you know.
My
if-
boat trailer's parked in my woods, right now, for example, and my
You
other
have
3
woods.
trailers.
Yeah, but John, what
And they're
Chuck,
all license plates, so I
Chuck
cover.
says you got enough money to do that, he doesn't.
Right,
No, I have enough
but
land.
say,
Yeah, but he doesn't, what does he do?
I live on a corner lot,
I don't
I
know.
can't put in,
Not my
I have
problem.
2 front
You're
yards.
making a hardship for him.
No, I
Yeah.
have 2 front yards.
I'm with you.
Where am I supposed to put, oh, no,
I'm
now
with
I have
you.
to put in the storage unit?
no, you're
Behind
supposed to
your
put
house.
it in his woods.
Oh.
Or
That's what
my
I'm
woods.
saying,
Yeah. I'm with
I'm
you.
just putting it out there, you know,
I'm with you, but we as a community need to
it's a
know.
resort community,
Right.
with a lake.
I thought
I'm with you,
I
Chuck.
thought legally,
100% with
legally,
you.
anything without a license plate is
No,
going to
as
be
long,
on
no,
private
it has to have a license plate, no
I'm
doubt.
talking about number
Yeah.
4 here. That's where we're at with number 4. Without current license plates, should not be parked on any residential zone or
Correct.
resort. Now, the police have told me over the years, it's gotta be covered. If you got a car with no plates or something with no plates, it needs to be covered.
That
That's
goes
even worse when
car-
leaving it uncovered.
Car cover, whatever.
Yeah, you're right, Heather.
Yeah, I mean, that's, so,
Well, let's just put a question mark by this, because
Yeah,
it's
this
probably something that needs addressed,
it needs to be,
right,
yeah.
wrong, or indifferent, right?
Yep,
And
Okay.
I'm not
I
trying
mean,
to screw you
they
from
should have
parking your
at
trailer
least a
on
license plate, you know,
driveway.
registered.
yep,
Yeah.
should be registered for sure.
agree with
I have no
Chuck.
problem with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree.
All right, section G, section H, let's, go to RT zoning district.
This town loves RT. Not for long.
No, you've rooted the demise of that very well.
Oh, lordy, is it nasty. 25 years from now, I'm gonna be sorry.
Did you just mention tiny houses in the trailer court?
In lieu of,
Say-
in lieu of trailers.
I'm not sure it would be good in lieu of
Yeah,
anything.
That's possible.
Permitted uses, anybody have anything here? Special exceptions are deleted. Number 8, chapter 11 picks up.
You know, I was gonna say, do we wanna add, and I don't know if this is legal or not, Rick, but do we wanna add a facade requirement of brick to multifamily?
There was action at the legislature this year by the, I believe it was the Home Builders Association, fighting that, because some communities have been trying to put that in. It's been successful in commercial areas, but to try to enforce it in residential areas is difficult at best. Your best tool for doing that is through a PUD rezoning, where you have a lot of influence on that kind of thing, but in a standard residential zoning district, you'd be hard pressed.
Cause it seems to me if you do have a multifamily building, and if it's all block, and then brick on the outside of the block, masonry, the neighbor to the next to you lights his place on fire, you're not gonna burn to death, cause you have a block
John,
wall between you.
How many multifamilies have been approved before my time and could or could not become a multifamily at this point? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, all the multifamily in, for example, Centennial, those same units burned on Broadway, and the Altoff multifamilies,
That's what you're calling a multifamily.
that's a multifamily, yeah. So if we up the ante of you have to do brick, it lessens people from wanting to build them.
Are there
That's
more
where
of
I'm going
those,
with
though?
this. What's
Are
that?
there more of those approved?
No, but
No.
every single Lennar Homes that in the future wants to come here, the market likes multifamily, they like
We're
RT,
just gonna
and
tell
they like
them no 'cause we
single
don't like
family.
it, though.
I got another thing,
Yeah,
You have the zoning control over that.
true.
with the multifamily,
Yes,
you go down 394, Sauk Village,
yep,
you got the duplexes.
yep.
One half's got one half a shingle, and the other one's got a different type of shingle. You know,
Those are hideous.
exactly. That's what I'm worried about the multifamily here.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen 20 years from now?
Well, no,
When the
okay,
one
okay.
family
The breakdown of the HOA will have that, Chuck, you're right.
HOA is no good, I'm telling you, if you have no one stepping up
I don't
to
think.
be in there,
I
you
don't,
need to have control over it as a town, saying, you know what? If you're gonna replace the whole roof, if you're gonna replace part of the roof, you have to replace all the roof.
No,
Not,
you can't say that, because if my half of my duplex is leaking and your half isn't, you're gonna spend $15,000 to replace
And I-
the roof
so
because
you're
my
gonna
half
have
is
the
leaking?
3-tab shingles compared to the multi-tab shingle, you know?
Well, you might have to say you have
Yeah.
to match,
Dimensional?
This-
you might have
that
to
is-
say you have to match
It's-
color and shingles,
It's,
but texture, but not make the other half tear it
That's where
off.
the
and
But that's the problem we have
I
with the
think-
multifamily here.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
gonna happen 20, 30
well,
years down the
we can't-
road?
You can't make your neighbor put a new roof on unless the timeline, fits, just like you can't make
So
them build
how are we
brick.
gonna correct this? If we keep allowing multifamily housing to continue
Hey,
here?
that's what John's
That's
talking
what we're
about.
saying. I'm trying to make it more restrictive
But I'm
by making it brick,
just saying,
and I guess
it's
it's not allowed.
making
I
it
don't
harder.
know if it is.
Yeah.
I just know that
I
there
would
was-
think it would be difficult, I would think it'd be difficult.
As long as it meets the building codes, as long as it
Because
meets the
quite
building.
honestly, we still have a lot of multifamily lots that were zoned multifamily years ago.
That's my
Right.
question to you.
Beacon Point East, we skated by them building only duplexes and cottage homes and single-family homes, because that could have all been apartments.
The market is also
Not that that's
changing.
bad, but just saying.
Okay, can we move on?
Yeah,
Okay.
Most
let's move on.
most of your duplexes, or whatever you wanna call them,
Yep,
are in some sort of a PUD.
they almost all are.
They
The new
are,
ones.
because that's the only way you're gonna get the lot sizes,
Right.
is go to a PUD. So in your
And that-
PUD,
and that's the
you
control.
dictate what is gonna be done.
Who's gonna enforce it?
The
Well-
HOA.
The
And
HOA,
the HOA is not gonna enforce, I'm telling you right now, HOA is
It-
not gonna
it-
enforce it, because you have volunteers doing this, they don't get paid
yeah, we,
to do this stuff.
it's another one
To
of those things.
enforce it.
Yeah, it's another one of
It's a
those,
good point, Chuck, I never thought about
No,
it.
I'm
This is a very
telling
valid
you from
point.
my POA for myself.
I tried to get,
Don't get PO.
I tried to get both off with their new neighborhood on 41. I said, I told Jeff Yatsko, I said, could you please include when the person buys the house, let them know this is the size building they can build, as they're looking at it. So they're not in here for BZA approval, because everybody wants a shed, and everything's too tight and everything else. I know what you're saying, Chuck, but we're not gonna fix it here, nor can we right now.
But
I
it
know
seems
that-
like we keep putting it off on, just making it an HOA, just making it an HOA. 10 years from now,
You're-
15 years from now.
Valid point.
And,
No one wants to be stepping up to do the HOA, because guess what? They don't get paid
Yeah.
to do this, and they don't get paid to be the enforcers.
yeah, I understand, but these price points, change some of these dynamics also, like Beacon East.
Right, for right now.
Well, you're right, for right now.
For what's gonna happen
And
20
we-
years from
and-
now.
Yeah, well, We don't know that for sure.
We're not looking at long-term,
We-
I'm just
Yeah.
putting it out there.
Nobody disagrees with you, but we need to stick to this,
Sure.
okay? I totally agree with you, Chuck, but right, we gotta stay here. Section E, bulk requirements, the height's gonna be 35.
Okay.
We're doing that again?
Yep.
35, okay. Item 2, same. Item 3, side yard, 8 foot, 2 side yards, rear yard, 30 feet. Lot coverage,
Some side yard, are we taking the percentage out?
Yeah,
mhm.
yeah, get rid of the aggregate width.
Oh, yeah, that's not crossed out of there.
Same with rear.
Yeah, same with rear. So this is, not more than 38% of the area of the lot may be covered by buildings or structures. Do we wanna change that to 40 or 35 or what?
40 was my recommendation, Jerry. 38 is just, seems like such a.
Yeah,
Weird
unusual.
number.
Yeah.
That is
Perfect.
unusual.
40, yep.
I like
okay.
40.
40's good. Corner lots, building size, 1,500. That all looks like it's okay. Attached garages, 400, 1,100. Off-street parking, it's the same. Parking and storage of certain vehicles, same but different. Section G, Section H, RM zoning, this is the one we should all feel warm and fuzzy about, low density. Permitted uses, community facilities, let's see. Anything there that, concerns anyone?
Not so far.
No. Special exceptions are gone. That is some strange verbiage. Accessory buildings, excluded garages. Section E, bulk requirements. We have 45 feet here.
Right.
What,
That's dictated by what, the ladder truck?
Well, in this zoning district, I think it was anticipated you'd have more often, you'd have, 3-story buildings.
Gotcha.
Yeah, in the RM zoning district, so that's why it was it was gonna be 3 stories or not to exceed 45 feet, and we're just eliminating the reference to stories.
okay, everybody's good at 45 feet? I don't think it's been a problem. No? Okay. Minimum lot, anybody have a problem with those numbers?
No.
Minimum lot width, 80 feet, 100 feet, front yard, same, side yard. Not less than 20 feet.
Yeah, and that's kind of a reflection of the potential height of the building. The taller they are, generally speaking, the more you want in the way of a side yard setback.
Okay. Rear yard 30 feet, lot coverage 40%. Corner lots, building size, attached garages, we're going, 600 square feet on those, not 1,100.
Yeah, because again, that was figured per unit. You have 1,100 square feet per unit in a, say, a 6-unit building, that's a lot of garage.
Monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Okay, general provisions, section F, off-street parking. That looks like it's all pretty good. Landscape, lighting. Here we are, John, MH, 5.5.
Yep.
Lost all homes. Definitions.
And MH zoning?
Well, that's true in a way. However, add a room unit.
So Indiana Code 3674-1106, that's really what
Yeah.
dictates this, right? Add a room unit.
A unit of manufactured housing not designed as part of the original structure. What does, I don't even know where they're going with that.
You know,
I don't either. This is just language in your current ordinance.
Yeah, this is,
I don't, yeah.
Do you have any MH zoning in town?
Huh?
Do you have any MH?
Not.
Behind my house, there's MH.
Is there really? Well,
Sam Jenkins lives in a Wausau home. And there's a few sprinkled throughout our community. They're
yeah, right, but
manufactured homes.
manufactured home is a very broad term.
Yeah,
You
some
got-
are on
you
a
got-
trailer.
Well, you got, that was brought in
Finished
in two,
and they're
that was brought
bolted
in two
together.
pieces.
Yeah.
Then you got the ones that show up already framed,
There's
stacked on a trailer,
Modular and manufactured, it's
and they're
completely
different.
but there's also panelized.
Do
and
we
now we're
have
not
a
talking about
section for
trailers.
those here? I didn't see one.
not that I see.
Yeah, this needs,
We need to address this maybe.
John,
manufactured,
what's the difference
see,
between
see,
manufactured and
well,
modular?
see number
Well,
six,
comes on a truck.
see number six, they're kinda wrapping them together here.
Like you see it driving down the street.
Number 6, Terry?
Number six, manufactured or mobile home community park.
Well, they did, yeah.
See, we're trying, you know, we have to figure out, to separate those from
Well,
metal frame and wood frame.
Zoning district, or can be incorporated into each residential zoning district as whatever? But there is no MH zoning I'm aware of.
One of them has a zone, one of them has a title.
We could skip over this
Let's
whole
skip this
section here.
section and ask
Yeah,
Rick to look at what
and let's-
St. John or
Yeah.
other communities have around.
No, I don't like it at all. I'd love to take it out altogether.
Yeah, well,
We can,
if-
but
if-
I'm not sure that we can.
if Don says there isn't any,
Well, here's the thing, if you have a zoning district listed in your zoning
Right.
ordinance, you should have a provision for it on your zoning map.
well,
You should,
Oh,
you're supposed to have, and Dave could tell us better if he were here, but you're supposed to have at least the ability to rezone the property to that zoning district.
Again, Indiana Code 3674-1106 or whatever is gonna dictate what we can and or can't do probably.
I think,
Not a provision on the
but
map now.
we're talking about
I don't think so.
manufactured though, and that's a whole nother animal. You know, that was built in part or in whole somewhere else and moved on to a site.
Climate.
But one that shows up on wheels that are still hanging underneath it is what we have in the trailer park, and the
Winding
house,
Creek is manufactured.
some of them are, yes.
Rochester Homes out of
Yeah,
Rochester, Indiana.
some of them are. The one by you're talking about, there's no metal frame under there.
No.
That's an all-wood
It's
home
all
set on a
wood,
foundation.
Set on a foundation, brought in a truck.
So I think getting the manufactured definition dialed in is maybe the most important thing.
Versus modular versus
Yeah,
trailer.
yeah.
Well, Heather said, you know, the ones have VINs on them. One thing,
That's a mobile.
Yeah,
Mobile
The
homes
ones that are
have
mobile?
VINs, yeah.
yeah,
they
well,
have
but this
VINs.
is, but this is,
Isn't that the difference?
well, this.
I don't know.
But-
Maybe that's what we need to put in there.
But number six is, it said, where'd it go?
Manufactured mobile home community park, a parcel of land which two or more manufactured or mobile homes are occupied as residences.
Yeah, I think, lost my place now.
The manufactured home became the name of a mobile home
Yes,
at some point in time. So
Yes.
it's different from modular.
Yes.
Modular is what John described as being behind his house.
yeah,
But manufactured and mobile homes are one and the same thing. They just became known when the law changed in 1981, I think, is when
Yeah, we changed it.
the language changed in state law in that 42 USC 5401. That, not, from that point on, mobile homes became known as manufactured.
okay.
Because I don't remember that. in
They
the-
also, the mobile homes that also have to be manufactured per HUD.
Yes.
And Rick, I think you're right. MH should maybe just leave this because we don't even have an MH zone. We have R1, R2, R3, and we have RT
Well,
and RM.
what's the trailer park?
Yeah, what is the trailer park? zone?
It's a
That's-
That's a
PUD.
PUD. That one got changed recently,
The trailer park's a
I
PUD?
believe so.
When they came
The
in
lady-
with all
they
kinds
came
of
in,
rules
is that
and
what we
The
did?
lady-
regulations.
Switched
yeah,
owners and they
the
wanted
lady-
uses and they
No
did a
kidding.
PUD.
When
saw that?
Mrs. Mary Austin, who met an untimely demise, owned that.
Oh,
And
Yeah.
when, after she passed away, it got sold to a gentleman and his son-in-law. And, they,
5 years ago?
they even,
Yeah,
they dialed their,
Pretty good.
they dialed their rules of use in so tight, you can't even leave a dog outside after dark on a tether.
No kidding.
And they were more than happy to do it. They didn't want it to be what it was once, and, they seem to be standing by that.
Trailer in order to. They have another trailer park or
If something right over in Linwood or Lansing, they got something over there too, they do.
In Burnham, I think. Burnham, I think.
Okay.
So John, there's no MH is what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm saying we should
I don't
maybe
think
just delete this section if we're allowed, because
I don't-
I don't think we even have it. We don't, it doesn't exist to my knowledge.
So
What happens if someone bought an individual lot, like, lot off, Pine Avenue?
Yeah.
Can they put them?
Could they put cause there is a manufactured home, you know, right off Klein Avenue.
Is it in our?
I'm saying, if you can take
It's
that,
on
make it a
the
section of all
east
your
side.
residential zoning.
There's one on
If
Lowerman.
you don't want it in certain.
Yeah, if I came in tomorrow
zoning,
to
you
the
can
building
strip it
department
out
to
of
put
that,
a
and you can allow it, or.
modular or
in
a
code
manufactured
or
home,
not,
do I get a permit?
Right, what's the answer, do you know?
I don't-
Yeah, that's what we need
What
to
is
find
the
out.
answer to that?
To be
If
determined.
I come in with a proper sized lot for R1, R2, buy a manufactured home or a modular home, can I come to the window and get a permit?
I'm saying no, because it is, in here, it's its own zoning district.
Thus, you might wanna keep that.
Huh? You can't.
I think we got them all over town.
We do.
It's
Yeah.
a mess.
We've got some, I don't know, a lot.
Some places you have it, some places you don't.
We're not talking about modular
No,
now,
comes on
you're
a
talking
truck.
about
Caves
manufactured.
on a truck, like,
Hold on,
But
there's
modular-
two
Two
pieces.
pieces.
There's two pieces. That's the
Modular-
Put
modular.
together.
That's modular, that's
That's
not
modular.
manufactured.
Yeah, that's not
That's why I was
manufactured.
trying to get a definition
Yeah.
of
well,
those
that's
two
why
things.
we're trying to get it all together right now.
A manufactured home is a mobile home. It just changed definition, it changed titles in this 1981. So it's the unit that comes in on a trailer, it has wheels, and it has skirting, it doesn't have a foundation. That's what my understanding of a manufactured home is. The modular home comes in on a trailer, two pieces generally, and it's bolted together, and it's put on a foundation.
But-
That's different.
So what,
But could
I don't
you,
know,
instead of
it's
making it a
different.
zoning district, could you just make it a section, like off-street parking? And reference it in your residential zoning, you
In the
can say, we don't want it in R1, not allowed. You can put it in R2, you can do it in RTRM.
Well, that's why I think we need to ask Dave what, as John cited, the 36-7-4-1106, does that prevent us from preventing these, or zoning these things out of our community? I don't know. I don't believe we have the ability to do that.
It's a work session,
I think we have to make a provision for these to be somewhere in our community.
so right now, can we highlight that, circle it, you
Yeah.
know, give it to Dave?
Put a
and-
question mark on it,
Right,
Yeah, I'll make a note to discuss this with Dave.
and
For
or
a later
examine
time.
some of the other
Right.
communities around here and see what they've done.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make it legal, but at least it gives us an idea.
Okay,
Jeez.
It is a long section.
where were we?
Section D.
We're in the business.
Chapter
Good stopping
five,
point.
what page? I lost my page.
23, I'm still on.
23.
Are we
23.
going past this?
We going past this whole section?
Then we're on, should be
You're in
on
business.
26.
20,
Chapter 6,
Yeah.
Chapter,
business.
Oh, no, it's beyond 26.
page 29,
Yeah.
page 29 starts 6.
business districts.
Yes,
Good stopping point.
chapter 6,
Okay.
page 29.
All right, I'm gonna say we're gonna stop here,
I think that's a good
and,
idea.
everybody gonna take a break,
Yeah.
take a break, go for a walk, whatever you wanna do.
Go for a
And,
swim.
all right.
Feet, no, dip your feet in the lake.
Depends how close to the edge you get, I guess.
Wait,
Yeah,
so we skipped over
59.
page 26, just so I'm clear?
Chapter 6 is where we're gonna start.
Page 29.
But page 26 has some pretty good explanations of what we were just talking about, if anyone wants to look at it.
Page
Well, I think
26.
we may redo that whole thing though, right?
Well, it talks here about having wheels, axles, a hitch.
Okay, well then, Rick, make a note that, we need to start with, page 26.
Chapter 5, page 26?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good
because
idea.
Heather says there are some definitions there that, we may, oh, yep,
Okay.
PL 36 code.
Come back.
All right, got it.
Okay, all right. Break time.
What we got?
Okay.
Oh, this is, okay, we're not doing this. Piece of paper.
Go to the back.
I can't do it.
Tired of
I
messing
can't
with
do
it?
that. That's great for the GIS. Commission, work session agenda, meeting to order, June 2nd, 2021. Please stand for the pledge. Mr. Carnahan.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Carnahan?
Here.
Mr. Foreman is here but not in the room. Mr. Sharp?
Here.
Ms. Densauer?
Present.
Mr. Becker?
Here.
Mr. Capora?
Present.
Mr. Wilkening?
Here.
Mr. Oliphant?
Here.
Mr. Austin is not with us at this time. Mr. Everly?
Here.
Ms. Mark? And Ms. Abernathy, recording secretary, Phil Talent. Present.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's see, regular work session, resolution, 2021-01, Planning Commission Rules and Regulations. Is that still in the works?
It is still in the works,
Okay.
Mr. President. Jill had a chance to review it a little bit more today, and there's a couple of tweaks we need to make to it, so that'll be ready in, I would think, next month.
Okay. All right,
That's a resolution.
Well, the resolution is ready, but the rules themselves, there's a couple of tweaks we need to make to those, so.
On some of the resolution, I looked through there and, there's some spots where there's only public comment at the end, and I would like to see, like we do in a town council meeting, to have public comment in the beginning for items on the agenda only, and then at the end, do, public comment for anything else they wanna bring up.
do you think public comment at the beginning of an agenda creates a little chaos, Bob?
No, because the thing of it is, if we're discussing stuff on our agenda and somebody wants to make a comment and then we make a decision, then they had no, input into what, we're going to do.
Perhaps there should be public comment, after every discussion of every agenda item. Is that what you're getting at?
No, I'm saying, in the beginning, if they look at the agenda and they see something in there and they may not totally understand what it's about, they may wanna come up and ask a question about it.
Shouldn't the petitioner
Yes.
be able to speak first, though? Wouldn't that answer a lot of questions, and then open it for comments?
Particularly if it's a public hearing.
It's a public hearing,
You got remonstrators.
If you have,
Yeah.
you can't stay in order of the agenda if, you know, depending on who comes to the podium to speak. You don't want to comments on item number 6 and you haven't even gotten item number 1 yet.
It's just a different approach at the plan commission level than it is at the council level, I feel. I mean, you get up, if someone gets up and asks a question about item number 6 on the agenda, then we're jumping to item number 6 instead of
Yeah, that's,
the order of the agenda.
Yeah, that's-
I think you would, like you said, offer public comment on each item if you want, item by item.
I like that idea.
well, I mean, that's the only way you can stay on task.
All right, just as long as
Peace.
the public has opportunity to weigh in on what we're doing.
Right.
Well, I've tried to do that, as often as I can, Bob,
All right.
even to Mr. Weezer's discourse. So, okay, item number 2, Centennial Villas, petitioners requesting a final plat. Mr. Oliphant, is this, pretty good?
You let Jeff speak a
Hi,
little
Jeff.
bit.
Hello, Jeff Yatsko, Olthoff Homes, 8051 Wicker Avenue. Yes, we will be seeking final plat approval for Centennial Villas. We're completely paved, all the utilities are in. I've been working with Don, he's been reviewing the plat. He's been looking at the letter of credit items, so we'll, over the next 2 weeks, we'll strip out the things that are completed and accepted, and we'll, hopefully have a number in, in 2
Okay.
weeks.
And you're happy with 2 weeks?
Yep.
That fits?
We'll be ready.
Okay. All right. Does anyone have any questions on this item?
Sounds good.
Be ready in 2 weeks. You good? Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good news number one.
Yep.
Item number 3, Thorne final plat, one lot subdivision, James and Pamela Thorne, 12608 Alexander Street. Petitioner is requesting final plat on a one lot subdivision. Good evening.
Good evening, again.
Name and address for the record, please.
Jim Thorne, 16320 Fulton Street, Lowell, Indiana.
You're requesting a final plat on your one lot subdivision? Your
Yes.
house in Alexander? Okay.
Yes.
Don? How's
We
that?
have the plat now. It'll be ready in 2 weeks.
Will be ready in 2 weeks?
Okay.
Okay, does anybody have any questions about this?
No, sir.
No.
Building department, Mr. Everly? Anybody? Everything's good? Okay. All right, everything's in order. Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Nice to see
Have a
you.
good night, 2 weeks. Okay. Item number 4, Henn final plat, one lot subdivision, Richard Henn, P.O. Box 502, Cedar Lake, vicinity 13301 Lincoln Plaza, Cedar Lake, Indiana 46303. Name and address for the record, please.
Richard Henn, 13733 Wicker,
All right. You're requesting final plat for the
King Building.
King Building, okay? Don, do we have, any outstanding items, or is everything in order?
We just got the plat. That's generally not an issue. We still have an outstanding comment letter from July 17th, 2020 regarding southern drainage, basically between that parcel and Dr. McDermott's dentist office. It
Okay,
hasn't been addressed yet.
okay, this is a kind of a time crunch. Is
Yes,
that,
sir.
is that correct?
If they can't take care of that item pretty quickly, then they're gonna have to seek an extension of the primary plat, correct?
Well, when,
Correct.
is 2 weeks too late?
So one of the, I discussed this with, Tim Kubiak earlier. One of the final plat approvals could be contingent upon extending the storm, up the alley and tie their drainage into a structure we are gonna be installing in the alleyway to capture that area that Don just discussed, before we pave that alleyway. That will drain that area next to McDermott's building.
Have you reviewed this?
I mean, that's the only way
Matter
that,
done?
that side yard's gonna really drain.
The area that's in question was regraded when we put that additional parking lot in. There's no water that sits there anymore, it runs to the street now. There was about 5 inches of fall there. McDermott has no issue. In fact, that water was sitting on our ground anyway, wasn't it?
He called me 3 weeks ago and didn't say that.
I beg your pardon?
He called me 3 weeks ago and asked if it was changed.
Well, you can look at it, but there's no water there.
Well, Teranga had submitted on several occasions. We're in review 7.
I'm sorry?
We're in review 7 up to that July letter last year, and they tried to address it 2 or 3 times, and the grade did not work without grading onto Mr. McDermott's property.
I
Like,
don't
it
see
was
any water.
physically impossible to get it out gravity without putting in a structure there.
Is
So
there,
the structure has to go all the way to the alley, that's pretty,
Well, there's a low spot on the line. It's lower in the sidewalk, it's lower in the alley. Only way you're
No.
gonna drain it,
there's no water sits there.
that's what Teranga survey says though.
well, I guess we're not there to check it, so.
I'm just looking at the topo that was submitted by his engineer.
Okay. Is there anything else in your comments? Is this the only thing, the stormwater is the only thing outstanding?
The fee that was agreed upon in the preliminary plat, I think it's $3,762.21 still needs
Yeah,
to
we're
be
gonna,
paid.
gonna pay that tomorrow.
Okay.
Do we have that comment letter?
No, I mean, this last year's,
No, I
From
know, I
July.
understand.
No, but
Well,
yeah, we couldn't find it in here.
no, it wasn't, I just printed it out and brought one. But it's the last correspondence.
So if he pays the fee tomorrow, and they say they've done some fill, but Taringa's drawing doesn't show it, you're saying the only way to get water out of there is take it to the alley,
Yeah.
the structure. corrugated pipe or whatever.
That system isn't in.
There's,
Yeah.
no water sitting there, that's all I can tell you.
But,
Nothing.
but that's a system we're putting in, Don?
We're putting it in
The
the
town's
alley.
putting in.
We're gonna extend the line from a catch basin up into your 133rd and extend it down.
So what do you suggest, if he has a low spot, according to Turinga's drawing, in his front southwest yard, what type of structure fixes that? What,
It'd just be a 2x2 yard drain,
okay,
that's all I care, but the grades that are shown, you cannot get it gravity flowing unless you either grade on McDermott's property or you install a catch basin.
McDermott doesn't own anything. We roll right up to his building. Doesn't own anything over there.
What do you mean you
The
didn't?
building sets, McDermott's building sets on our ground, almost. The overhang hangs over it.
But right now, is what Teranga submitted, there's no way to do it
without a 2-inch
without a
yard
basin.
drain?
If I,
Can you
if I
put a
could
basin?
suggest that you take a look at it, because there's no water on there, ever. I mowed it the day before yesterday.
We have,
Dry as a bone.
I guess water sitting there and water running through there are kind of two different things in my mind, but originally, that water was gonna run across the sidewalk into the
Yes.
curb drain.
Yeah,
Because
all of
we
it
stood
does.
here and talked about that
All of it does.
across the sidewalk, and, that was a concern of Don's, but cutting up the sidewalk and jumping into the back of that curb drain was undesirable.
I think
So-
it just needs, somebody to look at it, that's all, 'cause I don't see anything.
Well, I guess, so Don, who needs to look at it? Mr. Tringa? He's
I
the
mean,
one
I think it's
submitting the
low.
letters.
I can run a laser level and verify Teranga's, I don't know why Teranga would have a survey that is incorrect.
So,
So can you
If
look
don't have
at
the
it?
proper survey, then we can't do nothing until,
I think it's correct, I looked at it, I think it's low.
yeah, I know the GIS shows the property line right on the,
It's right on.
on it.
Yeah.
But Mr. McDermott having, potential water in his building is something we can't ignore either,
And
so.
he's checked in on multiple occasions, he's called me and I've given him the status.
Because he had water, or because he was just checking on the
He's
status?
just checking on the status of what happened, cause he came in here during some of the meetings when it did get approved.
Yeah, yeah.
Mr. Everly, you have a fresh set of eyes. What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm just gonna ask Don so we're talking about the McDermott building is here?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. We're talking about,
Right on the north side of McDermott's building, and a little bit to the west, there
This
used to be a
line.
puddle that sat
Right
there
there.
when it rained a lot.
This line.
Well,
Well, that,
this is about controlling the storm water.
Well, what happened, all the roof water went, over in that area. We put
Yeah.
all the roof water goes in the downspout and goes to the sewer system. Mr. Kubiak let us hook to the sewer. So there's no water runs over there anymore, just what hits from
I
the
see.
sky.
So
Nothing.
in the past, you're saying the non-pervious
Past
surface
that downspout,
allowed,
the whole roof is 4,000 feet was draining into that spot.
gotcha,
And it's not there anymore.
gotcha.
But
Well,
Kay
that's
wants to-
certainly-
Unfortunately, Turinga, the engineer, shows it being low, and that's
Well,
what
it might have
Don's
been when he
referencing.
came out there, might have been,
Yeah,
Well,
but it's not anymore. Somebody
so,
just.
so who needs to go out there and verify what's there now? I mean, this is a year old. I mean, Christopher Burke shouldn't be out there doing it.
I mean, I'll shoot it myself if you want me to.
Well, I guess we have to check Mr.
We may
Turinga's
have-
work,
we
and
may
I guess
have
we
to.
have to
That's what we have to
check
do,
Mr.
right?
Turinga's work.
You're right.
where's the storm sewer that we're putting here now?
In the alley.
It's up here in the, concrete apron.
And how is that gonna resolve?
So the intent was to run it all the way to the southeast corner and then have him tie into it.
Having tie a line into it,
yeah, a yard,
a yard drain?
corrugated yard drain of
It's the
some
least
sort.
intrusive way to do it. You don't really wanna rip up Broadway, and Broadway is nearest inlet, not
Right.
immediately on that line.
Yeah, that curb drain is not lined up with that swale.
So if you put the storm drain in, that eliminates the problem?
Yeah, put some sort of a
And-
yard inlet
and the-
here and run a line to here for future tie-in to what we're gonna put in. I mean, I don't think we should be holding up the petitioner's plat because we don't have our utility in there, but if that's a condition that they put this yard drain in, run it to the alley, and then we'll pick it up later when we put our line in, that and the payment of that $3,700 and change, whatever the number you
All right,
Yeah.
does
Who's
anybody,
gonna be responsible for the yard drain?
Well, the petitioner would be if that's what's required, to drain that area. Now, Mr. Hand's saying it doesn't hold water
It doesn't.
now.
Now that the building's tied in.
Billy, it's all tied in.
but if it's swaled that way, we have rainwater running across the sidewalk. So this other drain option is
It's lower
certainly.
than the sidewalk,
Huh?
that's the point, it's lower than the sidewalk.
Okay.
It doesn't get out there.
All right, then I guess, is that the only two items that are holding this up, Don?
Yeah.
The only two items, okay. Jill, when is this up on, when does this expire? From today?
June 17th.
The day after the next public meeting. Of course it's.
So can you put in the
It's
traditional yard drain from there,
We'll
get
do
into the
whatever,
alley?
we just wanna get it over with.
Yeah.
If this was to come up today, there would be no issue.
Gotcha. Yeah, because you fixed the downspouts and the drainage.
McDermott complained about water setting on our property that was caused by the roof over, downspouts draining over there.
Right,
They don't drain anymore.
Well, that,
It's insignificant.
agree. And what Don's saying is the land there is below the sidewalk. So someday if we did have a massive rain, it'll hold water. So giving it an
It'll hold-
opportunity to get out.
Everybody holds water over there. I'm not,
Let-
there's
yeah.
always flat areas in the spot.
let's do
I'm
this.
with you.
Insignificant.
Let's do this. There's two items here. One's easy, one's not so easy. Does anybody have a problem with Don going out there and verifying what's there?
Nope.
Not at all.
No,
All right.
not at all.
And then,
Let the
let
building
us-
department
let us-
know, and then they'll let Mr. Head know.
Well, the only other issue is that the drain that's in the rear, in the alley now, is very shallow. I don't know if we can get fall all the way from up front, all the way to that alley.
so Kubiak's idea is not so good.
I don't
No,
know,
I
it's
think we can do
it's
it.
pretty shallow.
Okay,
I'll verify it at the same time.
all right. Verify everything, Don. And you know what? Send an email to everybody.
Will do.
Now, can we do an extension if this isn't resolved in 2 weeks?
That's what I was just gonna say, at your next meeting,
Okay.
this will be on the agenda for final plat approval. If this isn't resolved, then he'll request an extension
Okay,
of the,
what does that take, a vote?
just a
Okay, all
vote,
right.
just a
Would you like
4-3.
a 30-day or 90-day extension, or?
Well, typically, it's
6
6 or
months.
12. 6 months?
Yeah.
It's 6 months, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, by ordinance, Chuck, it's 6 months.
That's fine.
So the only other question I have is if something happens to Mr. McDermott's property, until then, who's on the hook for that?
What do you mean?
Well, it's.
It's been there for 80 years. I think we're safe.
I know you
Nothing will happen.
I know you mowed the grass there.
I used to
so
mow
we
the
heard-
grass.
We heard the story.
That's a good hypothetical, but it is what it is.
We'll be
Okay,
fine.
well, I mean, we don't know the
2 weeks.
timeline, we don't know the timeline of the drain in the alley either.
Correct.
No, we do.
Jerry,
So-
consider your timeline, we've been waiting for 19 months for water. 19 months, otherwise this
And,
wouldn't even be an issue.
and I think that's been,
We just got water.
I think that's been expedited also,
Yeah, finally.
so.
Yeah, long
The
time.
only reason this is set.
Yeah.
And the building is sold, so
Okay.
we've got a buyer for that.
So, Don, is this something you, will have done by the end of the week or the end of next week?
I will try to do it this week.
Okay,
Cool.
all right,
Okay?
you good?
I'm good.
Okay, everybody else good?
Very good.
Everybody good? Okay, everybody's good, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 5, People's Bank Site Plan, order petition, People's Bank, 10205, 133rd Avenue, Cedar Lake. Vicinity is 10205, 133rd Avenue, Cedar Lake. Petitioner is requesting a site plan. Hello
Hi.
there.
I'm Robin Woody with Larson Danielson Construction, 302 Tyler Street, LaPorte,
Okay.
Indiana.
All right,
It's a small bank branch building, proposed location at 10205 133rd Avenue.
all right, for everybody who, we just, the timing of this information is, we're a little behind here.
Okay.
This is next to O'Reilly's, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, on the lot next to O'Reilly's.
And, I'd like to make a statement. I saw somebody putting up a sign that said Future Home of People's Bank.
Mhm.
And I asked the guy, I says, I've never seen anything about this in the
Yeah.
town. So I came down here and talked to Mr. Everly, And within 5 minutes, they called Jill and started telling her that they were gonna be here.
Jill and I met with Robin and a couple of others, a couple of weeks ago, and had our preliminary staff meeting. I think both fire chiefs were there as well, Tim Kubiak was there, so we had our staff level meeting, a couple of weeks ago, Robin.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. So, this was going to be, right in and right out off of 133rd?
So we have an entrance off of the main street, and then we also have an exit off of the side street.
There it is.
I can give you the name in a second.
King Street is,
King Street is
that
the
goes
side
into
street.
summer,
Right,
Summer
but,
Woods.
but you can turn right in off of 133rd,
Yes, you can.
and you can only turn right out onto 133rd.
We're getting to that.
Full access.
We're
Yeah,
getting
it's
into
full
that.
We're getting
access
that.
there. And then we have full access off of King Street as well.
It'll be our recommendation that it be a right in, right out.
Okay.
The proximity to a lighted intersection or soon-to-be lighted intersection.
Yeah, King Street's gonna be.
Because it would be a pretty dangerous left turn,
Yeah,
especially when cars are stacking.
okay. Well, I guess, since this is kind of a concept plan, well, it's not, is it really it's concept at this point?
Yeah, yeah.
I guess we can, does anybody have any questions about this?
Not at this
We'll wait for Don's
No,
comments?
no, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm assuming this will be back in a month, the work session?
Next work session and then public hearing, I think, Robin, you're planning for July?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
great.
One other
Oh, I'm
note,
sorry, it's not a public hearing, it's site plan, it'll be a public meeting, but not a
Okay.
public hearing.
Yeah.
Okay,
Because they've
yes.
already got plat approval, this is a part of a plat subdivision. so
Right.
it's like-
there is a sidewalk easement on the east part of this property, which will impact your drive aisle and probably your site layout. It was recorded by Summer Winds in 2018, so it may not have shown up on your, title work.
Okay.
So that, I believe, is to be installed by Summer Winds, but that will shift your drive aisle west
Yeah.
by about 5-7 feet probably.
That's the only sidewalk getting out there because the other bank is elevated.
The other one's a retaining wall. Yep.
Okay.
and the reason why the site plan's been approved, because it was part of Summer Winds, right? Correct.
Site plan is, no.
The plat.
The plat.
Oh, the plat.
Yeah.
This was an existing lot of record,
Right,
part airport heights, as they call it.
but its drainage was
Drainage
accommodated
was a-
in the Summer Winds commercial.
Yes,
Right.
it does not need its own detention.
Right.
And they said that they were gonna put a business there on that corner lot. Yeah, and this is the business.
This is that
Yeah.
business.
We didn't know what then. Right.
So, I mean, I think we got final engineering yesterday, so we'll
Mhm.
be looking at it over the next week or two.
Yep.
So,
Okay. These drawings that are here, are those in the, you said it's four sections of emails? Is that what you were saying
There's,
earlier?
if we run out of pages, then we have to go to the next section.
Okay. All right.
But if you can close and go to part 2 of your plan submission packet.
I'm just
bring up the rest of the
Okay,
drawings.
I'm just, trying to make sure everybody can, look at this in the future, so.
Robin, I'll send you that, recorded easement, so you
Okay,
have it. I
perfect.
just dug it out this afternoon, so.
Okay, that sounds good, thank you.
All right, before you run off, anything else, Mr. Everly? Mr. Carnahan?
No.
Everybody's good?
Good, I like it, I like it.
Good?
Good.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very
All
much.
right, have a good night, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming to our community.
Yes.
Everyone can close and go to part 2 of their plan submission packet, if you haven't already.
Close.
What are we looking for, Jill?
Part 2.
Part 2,
Close.
it'll be 2021.0602 PC work
You
session.
get it? I got it.
Part 2.
No, you have part one. Go back.
Sorry, it was a large file, and that was the only way to split it,
Okay.
to accommodate the iPad. And it'll take a minute to load.
Everybody have what they're looking for?
Yep.
Okay,
It's loading.
We turn up the air.
all right.
Yeah, somebody.
It's got hot here now.
Okay. Item number 6, Hardig, concept plan for a one-lot subdivision. Owner petitioner Bernadette Hardig, 934 Jordan Circle, Schererville, Indiana. The vicinity is 8025 West 126th Place. Petitioner is requesting a concept plan. Is that petitioner here tonight?
I do not see.
Are they zooming by chance?
No. Nobody on.
This is,
President,
yes,
this is an item where Ms. Hardig, is wanting to sell this property. It is not a lot of records. It would require a one-lot subdivision. This was to bring that concept in front of you. She's still working through the
this is just,
platting of that.
this is just south of the entrance to Havenwood?
Correct.
Okay.
Just on that one.
It's a vacant lot currently.
Okay.
So this item,
Yeah, well, I wish she was here.
she may have been confused.
Just maybe move on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Don, if you, get a chance, look this over, see if there's anything here other than one lot, any other,
It's kind of the first time I've seen it, so.
yeah, touche.
it was just bringing the concept.
Yeah, well, I don't think any of us have a
What
problem.
she's wanting to do.
Yeah, I don't think any of us have a problem with that, as long as, she understands that, you know, the engineer may have, some concerns.
We discussed that.
Yeah.
during
Okay.
the second.
All right, very good. Would you,
You wouldn't
Re-
do
would
that
you-
again until July.
okay,
I'll provide an update at
well,
your next meeting.
that'd be great. That'd be great. Thank you. Okay, item number 7, Lakeview Business Park, CLBD South LLC rezone, preliminary plat, site plan, rezone from ag to PUD, preliminary plat, site plan approval. Hello there.
Good evening, Greg Bauer, 425 Joliet, Suite 425, Dyer, Indiana. Here on behalf of CLBD South LLC. I believe DVG has been working with Mr. Oliphant with respect to his comments on our engineering plans. I know we recently submitted the revised plans to address more of those comments, and we hope to receive no further comment, but if we receive comments, we'll respond to them to satisfy the town with respect to that. Other than that, and Mr. Oliphant can correct me if I'm not accurate on that, but we've also tendered a development agreement to the town, the contract pursuant to your zoning ordinance for the PUD. And we've also tendered a development plan to attach to that development agreement, similar to the other PUDs we've done here in Cedar Lake, and they follow that same format. With both of those, the agreement and the plan, we've gone through one round of comments. I know we're looking for more comments from the town to finalize them and make it a great agreement and plan for both the town and CLBD South. In conjunction with that, part of that agreement and plan is a water line development agreement with the water line that we're putting in. The town was receptive to my client recovering some of the significant costs of extending the public water main that'll get water to our subdivision. A very large expenditure, but in a very gracious and manner, the town's allowing us to recapture that. We've tendered that agreement. We're waiting for more we've received some comments on it. We're willing to work with the town and address their comments on it. In fact, we attached an amortization chart. We have to finalize the numbers to it all yet, but the amortization chart will be easy to change. All we have to plug in is a new number. It'll spit out, because it's all formulas according to how people in my office have told me. So it's set up to get all your final comments and finalize it. So with that, probably one of the biggest things that generated questions was the list of uses, and we've submitted a substantially revised and pared down list of uses. I don't know if you've been provided those, and I'm willing to be grilled on those tonight, but I think we eliminated some of the ones that people were asking for a definition of. So we really restricted the list of uses now, after we went through them one by one, based on your comments. Based on the interest in the development, and interest in the lots right now, we've been able to pare it down, and we know we're pretty comfortable with the uses that we pared it down. We eliminated, in fact, most of the industrial uses. It's gonna be a commercial, really light industry type park, right there, so.
So it wouldn't be 24/7 businesses? I'm sorry, 24-hour businesses?
Right now, I wouldn't anticipate too many 24-hour businesses. I don't think we're necessarily restricting it, but all the ones that have shown interest are definitely not.
Yeah.
Some of the ones up front are your typical, business hours, maybe 8 to 6 p.m., normal hours. Yeah, it's gonna be, steering more to the commercial, more to the public usage, so, normal business hours, and maybe a few of the retails would stay open a little bit later.
Okay. Don, any, immediate comments?
Mr. Brower's correct. We've kind of been working informally behind the scenes with DVG to try to expedite the process. So we actually submitted a bunch of comments, more notes, and DVG resubmitted something last week. So we are still looking at it and hope to be ready in 2 weeks. It's a pretty big development though, so, but that would be the hope.
All right. Jill, Rick, any comments?
This is scheduled for public hearing in 2 weeks. Mr. Bauer realizes that it's kind of a tight time frame, and it may require us to, or you to, defer it if it's not ready. There is a lot to review yet, but Mr. Bauer is correct. He submitted all that documentation last week, at least, that we had for the recapture agreement, the PUD contract, the rezoning ordinance, so we've had, and when submitted, he submitted it not only to us, but also to Mr. Austin, so we've had it for at least a week, I would say, if not more.
Just glancing through here, because I appreciate you modifying your list. The carnival description from before was my favorite. Item 61, it says open storage. Will any of these lots be used for open storage without a building?
No, that's not, there will be a building associated with it.
Okay, right.
But some of them may have some, equipment associated with their
I got you.
heavy business.
Sure. I got you.
Okay.
Okay.
Lot number 1, 2, and 3 are going to be businesses off of 41. What about 16?
It looks like it's off at 41 to me.
Yeah. So will all 4 of those be like businesses, and the rest of it be light industrial?
Whatever you wanna make it, you could rent it. I would imagine it, they don't care.
That's exactly what the interest has been so far. The people that wanna be out on 41 want more of the retail exposure. And certainly one of them, I know, is heavy into the retail exposure that 41 brings to this entire county. So yeah, those right now are being pursued by retail-oriented businesses. And the other businesses in the back obviously don't need that exposure as much. So people may still need to find them. That's why we have the sign the way it is, to get in there, to direct businesses to get in there. It's a, to address the sign, it's a fairly high-speed road, Route 41 up and down, and based on speed and everything, you want to make sure people can identify the park and get in at a safe speed. So that's the intent of that sign, to get all the businesses in the rear, show people where they have to turn in so they can slow down, no abrupt stop. So signs hopefully are focused on safety, and that's what, that's meant to do for that, sign located on lot 1. But all the other lots will have, on 41 will typically have monuments to try and attract
Okay.
the retail.
All right, does anybody down here have any questions?
Not at this
Chuck?
time, no.
John? No?
No,
Anybody?
good,
No?
sure.
Okay.
No, sir.
Don, just for clarification, the, water line's gonna be coming in the southeast portion of this property?
Coming off 141st.
Okay, and then it's gonna cut across at an angle into the southeast corner of this
Yeah, you
property?
can see on, I think they have the primary plat on here, you can see there's a 10-foot utility easement between lots 13 and 14.
Okay.
Stretches back to the southeast corner off
Yep.
13.
All right, I
That's
see it.
its general location, and then there's a utility easement heading south.
So it will do a 360 around this whole,
It will be looped, I think.
it'll be looped out to
Yeah.
41 and around and,
Yeah, there will be a water coming out to 41, but it will not connect. I think it goes up and down 41 as well.
north and south?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Mr. Everly, I'd like to ask, how is the recapture agreement?
Well, it's a 15-year agreement that, needs to be approved by either the utility board or the town council, and of course, for us, that's one and the same. The thing that's a little bit unique about what the petitioner is asking for is, they're asking for a recapture, I guess kind of what I would call up front. Typically, the typical recapture agreements I've seen are paid through a building permit for each lot as it's built in the benefited area. Their engineer has determined the benefited area, that the area that benefits from this water main, installation, and then they have the right, as long as you as a council grant it, to seek a recapture of those expenses. They identify their expenses, including soft costs, and then over a 15-year period, they're entitled to recapture those expenses plus 8% per year, simple interest.
And who are they recapturing it
From
from?
whomever develops along the
Okay.
way and taps into their main.
So it could be somebody else up north,
No, it'll be
No.
south.
south?
Yeah,
Yeah,
somewhere,
correct.
it'll be essentially between 141st and their property on both the east and west sides of this newly installed. So they define the acreage, they determine an equivalent residential unit, is it 2 per acre, I think, Doug, that was identified, 2 units per acre. So if someone's got 40 acres, they have 80 potential hookups there.
So the water's coming from 141st north?
North, yes.
Okay, that, I understand that a lot better.
Yeah, and it's, I forget is it half a mile, Doug? I think it's half a mile. It's $350,000-$400,000 worth of cost that they're putting in, so they get to recapture that plus 8% per annum, for a 15-year period. If nobody develops in that 15 years, then they're out the money. If you get full development and they get their money back, I mean, that's their hope, that's their gamble, but it's likely that the land around that water main will develop and they'll get their money back.
Don, the sanitary sewer from this project is all good to get to that lift station?
Yeah, there's a deep interceptor,
Okay,
up on the north side of the parcel.
all right. Okay, does anybody have any thoughts or questions on the uses? The
No, sir.
descriptions of the uses?
No, look pretty good.
All right, and, the goal is 2 weeks?
We will do our best.
Okay, all right,
It'll be a lot, but we'll do our best.
all right, well, we're not afraid of deferrals. You gotta make sure you're thorough. Okay, if that's all you have, that's all we have.
Okay.
Guess we're good.
Thank you for your time
All right.
tonight, and we appreciate all the efforts that Mr. Oliphant will put into this, between now and then. So, we're
Well,
anxious to get
He,
started.
he works 16 hours a day,
I
7
know.
days a week.
I
He
wish
says he
I
does-
would-
He says he doesn't, but I think I know better.
I know, I wish I would have been, knowing the schedule, I would have objected to that survey work, that he's gonna do now. But anyway.
Just throw it in the driveway like a newspaper, 'cause I'll bet that doesn't lay there long either.
I know that hasn't done much, so anyway, thank you very
All
much.
right, have a good night.
Thank you.
All right, item number 8, Cedar Lake Conference Association, AKA Cedar Lake Ministries PUD amendment. I think Mr. Austin has red penned that once. I don't know where that stands right now. Is anyone here regarding that item?
Jill?
Jill is,
I can provide an update.
okay.
Nate and I have continued conversations, almost every other day, if not daily, on this. David Austin's comments on the legal updates have been made to their document by, Attorney Terpstra. They're waiting on the rest of the content update from their attorney. Don, Rick, and Nate met out on site a week ago.
Week and a half ago?
Week and a half ago, on a Friday, walked the site, talked about the stormwater and various items that have been needing to be addressed in that area. Don provided a report to them that is, all of you have that report that was provided to them. So that will be incorporated into their update as well. We anticipate this being an update item for your June 16th meeting with the potential for a public hearing in July.
All right.
There's some items going back and forth. Nate had a conversation for me. He was unable to attend remotely this evening.
Okay. Don, what did your field trip yield?
I mean, some of the North Woods, they've essentially agreed that they will not develop on a lot of those lots to the north. I don't know if you have on your iPads. So
I'm not seeing your comment letter, is that what you're talking about?
I think you guys have a hard copy.
You have a hard copy.
Got it.
Kinda came in late today, so. So regarding some of the drainage, discussion in previous meetings, lots 76, 77, 86, 89, 90, 91, and outlot 6. So they're essentially all of the undeveloped lots in the North Woods, where there's currently not a home. They will not be allowed to build on those until they essentially do a comprehensive drainage study for the area. Left pretty general as their recommendation, and then also actually having paved roadways to access them as well.
Okay.
So our recommendation is essentially to get rid of all the gravel out there.
Okay, because the North Woods has been cleared quite a bit, there's nothing they need to do with those ravines and sediment and everything else?
That'll be part of the study. I think they realize, and we've also said that, you know, basically any more dumping in some of those ravines is no longer prohibited.
Yeah, well, there's
there's always,
That's what Mr. Wolf told me 10 years ago, but,
there's always gonna be the product of enforcement of that as well.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
not easy.
All right, is the 137th water, the mailbox?
They will be extending the ditch line that they dug or later last year all the way to essentially the mailbox area.
Okay, so where's it going from there then?
That all kind of routes north and then jogs under the new pipe they put under Forest Drive that goes up to the lake.
Okay. And
They
then,
also installed an 8-inch or a 10-inch pipe at the southeast corner of Lowerman and 137th that we did a level survey of last week, and I still need to check it, but at least temporarily or permanently, we can drain that corner, I believe, right now, at least in a temporary, before we do a more permanent fix with, another larger system that's gonna go in at some point in the future.
So on the southern border of this property, where the lots are ready to be built on, what are they doing about the stormwater there?
This is south of Unit 1, right?
I'm talking about the south property line of the whole ministry.
Not of
property.
Unit 2 though, right?
Huh?
Not Unit 2. You're talking about the part that abuts Noble Oaks?
Yes.
Oh, whoa, there's no Noble Oaks. Noble Oaks is farther.
Well,
I'm talking about 139th,
Yeah,
court. or-
same thing, yeah, we consider that all Noble Oaks. I guess it's Lakeshore Edition technically, but we asked that they essentially provide a 12-foot drainage easement on that rear line, and that they would be responsible for constructing some type of stormwater infrastructure if and when the town installs a system within Noble Oaks, whatever you wanna call it. Because right now, there is no good way to drain those rear yards. There just
So-
isn't.
So how do you build a house on property that there's no way to drain anything other than into the neighbor's yard or into the next neighborhood?
I mean, that's a policy call. I mean, the alternative is to have them put in a system now and drain it all over the lake. Which can be done as
So I
well.
ask again, how correct is it to allow new homes to be built and, send the water over to the neighbors?
If that's the way you wanna take it, I'm more than in favor of that, but they likely are gonna push back on it.
You're talking the neighbors behind them, correct?
I'm talking about the neighborhood behind them, I'm talking about the neighbors between there and the lake. You know, as the entrance road gets repaved over the years, it gets higher and higher and higher, like a lot of roads.
Well, and Nate also needed to check, cause all those lots, except maybe 2 that are owned by the ministries, are currently leased. We don't even know if we can legally record an easement on a leased parcel. I know he was
But
gonna
they're-
check that
but
out
they're-
with
But
his.
they're leased to the ministries.
I understand that,
And-
but there's a certain lease agreement that you may not be able to get through to actually place an easement on some of those. I don't know.
So the people who are east of these potential new home sites, you don't think they'd be in favor of a storm drain in their front yard to take care of the issues that, arise on occasion?
Jerry, I'm sure they would, and if you wanna make that part of this PUD, you're more than.
Well, I'm asking your opinion.
I do, this was more trying to fix it on a longer term solution. If you wanna try to fix it in the short term, that's really the only option. They're gonna have to run something through properties that they may or may not have access for right now. I don't know.
But the ministries, yeah, they lease them.
Yeah.
So if the leasee said, heck yeah, put some drains out front here, then I think that's a win-win. They get their new homes,
They
and
would
we
have to
don't
be
have
in
any
the
water
rear.
problems.
They would most likely have to be in the rear though. Those rear property lines are the low point.
Well, I understand, but the new home sites would be much higher, so the drainage could start.
Yeah, but you're only gonna fix them one at a time then? So you're gonna have laterals going to where?
Toward the lake.
Then you need the buy-in of everybody on that line.
There's only
Or
about a dozen people.
about 13.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, any of those people that, their sump pumps
13.
never shut off, I mean, I don't know how they wouldn't be on board with this. And then
Nate
Bill-
was gonna go back with his attorney and see how they could even do that. And if I guess the decision by plan commission is you want it to be installed now and run out to the lake and not tie into a future town system, then that's something that would have to be discussed.
Well, they're already sending water to the lake, and, I don't see this being,
I'm just saying, it would not be a small task.
no, but again, building new homes and pushing water into another neighborhood in somebody
Well,
else's yard.
I mean,
is,
we've done reviews of some of those, I think there's 2
That-
building permits on that line, and they're rough in the rear.
I agree
Yeah.
with you, Jerry, I think that's a good idea.
I mean, we got one chance to get this all right over here, after 100 years, for another 100 years, and I just, I mean, that's why this is in front of us, because those home sites are,
On their way?
no, they have people, they're ready.
Yeah,
They're ready, they'll be here.
They submitted permits,
Yeah,
at least one of them.
yeah, so, anyhow, those are just my thoughts.
I mean, if that's the direction you wanna take it, we can communicate that with them and see what they say.
It's worth a shot. Yeah.
I just don't know
I don't
how
know
we
if
can-
that subject though, that, if we are eventually going to do a drainage project on Lakeshore Edition, then maybe we would ask them to get the easements for us within a certain period of time.
Well, that's the way the comment is kind of phrased now.
Cause they're all paying a drainage fee, aren't they? Or is the conference ground as a whole paying a drainage fee? Or is each individual property owner paying the fee?
I believe it would be each individual property owner.
I don't need-
No?
I have no idea.
Oh, Jill's shaking her head, what?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know, okay.
I would assume it's the same as all the rest of the residents in
It's just,
town.
it's another
I think
address,
it's the
I
total.
mean,
No, I think it's the total.
Is it?
I think they pay one fee for everything.
I think that's
I believe so.
possible.
I just don't know how you could run any, well, I guess you could get back out to Lowerman. That would be shorter than going to the lake for sure.
Lowerman has its own, very shallow ditch lines that you probably don't wanna be
Well, it
adding
goes
to.
in, it ends up, yeah,
If we're on top of a hill and there's a lake down below, makes sense to get the water to the lake.
yeah, but it's 2/3 farther probably, so.
Yeah,
I just don't know how we can allow new homes to be built and not take care of a water problem.
Well, we do it now all around town. You go down 142nd Place, you build a new home, and you flood the guy behind you. Hey, it just happens. I mean, we have this issue happening everywhere, right?
Pre-platted subdivision.
It's not something new to only this zone.
It's
It's
pre-platted, and this is a huge piece of property, and,
Yeah, I'm with
it's
you.
been around for a long, long time, and it's gonna be around for a lot longer. And some kind of stormwater plan, in there, I think they should probably commit to.
It'd be good if we could get them to give us an easement along this whole back property line.
You can't, the houses are too close. to the
Oh, are they
property line.
that close?
Way too close. It's
Okay.
gotta be out front. It has to be out front. So,
No, there's space back there to do it. We walked a lot of that
Yeah,
line.
we walked that.
along the fence?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
There's space.
Yeah.
Really?
There are some things in the way, Jerry. In fact, there's a wooden deck on the back of one of the homes there that goes almost to the property line, but it's, I mean, you can go under it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can put in a shallow system pretty
Yeah.
easily. You don't need a whole lot of width to do it, but
When you get to the east end, don't you run into full houses as you get to the east end? No?
No, I'm looking at the map. There's some space.
There's some space?
There's space.
Okay. Well, I think it needs to be discussed with them.
we
and-
recommended a 12-foot wide easement, which is our minimum, so,
Yeah. Yeah, I think we eyeballed it and thought there was room for a 10 to 12 foot easement.
yeah, I think you can do it. I mean, if you wanna make essentially the 1 through 13 lots, you're subject to the same conditions that you have essentially for the northern wood, that you're not gonna release building permits until something's done. I'm more
Well,
than willing to write that.
I can't, huh?
I said, I'm more than willing to write that comment.
Well,
I'm not gonna
those-
push back.
Those are my thoughts. Does anybody else have any,
I
any,
agree
Heather?
with you.
I agree.
Yeah, yeah,
It's our last chance to get this right
Yep.
yeah.
there.
Okay.
Chuck, any thoughts? No thoughts? Okay. Mr. Kapoor, any thoughts?
Just time to do it.
All right. Okay, I guess, if somebody could, share that with them, that would be great.
I'll revise one of my comments
Okay.
of that nature.
All righty. Let's jump to item number 9. Hens preliminary plat, final plat, one lot subdivision site plan, 13424 Wicker Avenue, preliminary plat, one lot subdivision with waivers, final plat, one lot subdivision, and site plan. This is for the old guards building.
So the, old tire building.
Oh, sorry, yeah, sorry, wrong, yeah, 134, got it. All tire. Okay, name and address?
Rob Hen, 13733 Wicker.
Okay.
We have hired DVG to help us with the development of this project, so with that, I'm gonna turn it over to Ryan from DVG.
Okay.
Ryan Maravich of DVG Team 1155 Troutline Road, Crown Point, Indiana.
Okay. This is, moving right along.
Yes,
Okay.
we received, comments, earlier in the week. I believe the surveyors addressed, some of the plating comments. I should have the, engineering comments, tomorrow.
Okay. Don,
I don't see
any immediate thoughts?
I don't see any huge issues. I
Okay.
think they have, 2 BZA variances, or 1, maybe?
No, it's 3 or 4.
3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sidewalks, screening.
Oh,
that's
no,
waivers.
BZA variance.
BZA, they have.
Yeah.
There will be some
Just a
engineering,
width,
yeah,
that's fine.
there will be some minor engineering waivers, but,
Okay.
that are kind of typical of something like this, that'd be similar to guards, so,
Right.
but, we'll have those
There was a
summarized
storm,
too.
there was gonna be a stormwater waiver also?
Yeah, because they essentially are showing a no net increase in impervious area. They're
Okay.
restoring some current impervious space, the grass, and expanding and building, the parking lot in the front.
So blacktopping in the future would be a no-no.
Yeah, if they wanted to further extend,
It's all
then they
asphalt
would
mostly
trigger it.
anyhow now,
Yeah.
cement, where they're building the additions.
It's a little everything.
Is it?
Yeah, it's gravel, cement, asphalt, a little bit of everything.
Mr. Fraze needs some more space, that's for sure. Okay, anything else, Don?
Not at this time.
No, okay. Any other commissioners?
No, sir. No, sir.
Jill, Rick?
No, sir.
No, everything's moving along. Okay, what were the waivers gonna be?
You mentioned the sidewalk.
Sidewalk,
Lighting?
Yeah.
Lighting.
lighting is in no new lights on the building or no pole lights in the parking lot? I'm assuming you're gonna put more lights on the addition of
I
the
believe
building.
there'll be an additional wall pack on
Okay.
the building.
All right, And then-
The lot to the north, we're not touching that because that's not part of the subdivision, so that
Yeah.
had a few lights. I think that was the used car lot at one time.
yeah. Okay. So one more wall pack on the building, and then, there was a discussion of stormwater waiver, sidewalk
Yeah.
waiver.
And
And
that's
then-
not even, I don't know if that's even really a waiver, kind of, it's not a gray area of the ordinance, but since you're not creating more impervious, there's really no need for it, so.
Yeah, well, I guess just gotta make it legal.
Yeah, you can formalize it.
Okay.
I got a question about
Yeah,
sidewalks.
yes, sir.
Isn't there, like a sidewalk, fee in lieu of, for the sidewalks?
We never put anything together yet.
It's
I thought
still,
we were doing that for Hanover.
No, we couldn't, because we don't have anything,
Well, Hanover was
writing.
a trade.
we traded
Yeah, we
for them.
moved one sidewalk to another.
Right.
Yeah, that ended up being a sidewalk, yeah.
So this is not a fee in lieu of arrangement?
there's no formalized fee in lieu of program yet.
It's not.
Why isn't that done?
I thought we were supposed to have this done by the first of the year.
Because we never talked about it
Well, then we
at
need
the
to
work
get-
session.
We need to
We talked about it,
get our
we
asses
talked
in
about
gear
it,
and
we,
get this stuff done.
we need to
Maybe we
talk,
need to be here at 5 o'clock before the meeting
No,
instead of
no.
6.
We did talk about it, and we were
Yeah.
waiting to hear back a dollar amount.
so much a square foot,
Well, we need to get on the agenda, so Jill and Rick are gonna have to
Well, we need to.
bring it to a work
get this
session
now.
so we can
I mean.
finalize it.
where,
we can't let that-
We were saying this at the end of last year.
Yeah, but this is back, let's focus on the subject at hand. The answer is we don't have that program set up yet. We talked about it though, you're right, December and November.
Mr. Oliphant, where does this lay right now, the fee in lieu of?
We
Whose
prepared a
desk is
memo.
it, whose desk is it on?
I'm not pointing fingers.
That's not what I asked you, I asked you whose desk it's
On
on.
my desk,
It's on your desk?
on my desk.
Okay. All right, with the formula and the recommendations for?
With a draft recommendation.
Okay, so it has to go to legal now.
I believe it's already been copied to legal. We're all reviewing it.
Yeah.
Okay,
We will have a draft for you at your next work session.
okay.
So meantime,
So-
Texas is
I will
gonna
add
have to
it-
pay for it.
I will add it to your update item.
So-
Within 7 months.
So, I wanna get back to the property, so the south half of the property will be for all tire. And the cars that are on the east side of the building now will still remain on the east side of the building, and the fence will be gone then? That they're inside of now? They're in that fenced-in area with the semi parked out front of it?
Well, that fence is there was, yeah, that fence will go away because that'll be the parking lot now.
But that's where the building's gonna be,
The building is, the addition is on the front.
on the east side.
East side.
Yeah.
Is, and then.
So where all those cars are at now, everything will move east?
Correct.
Okay,
But that
and then,
fence will-
and then the car lot is not the car lot anymore?
The car lot is a separate lot, separate
Okay.
legal, separate address, we're not touching anything over there.
But there won't be any cars over there for sale on the other lot?
No,
You mean correct?
correct.
Okay.
And,
Okay,
and if I could, Chuck, to answer your question about the sidewalk, we're seeking a waiver for a couple of reasons. One, because there's a sidewalk to nowhere. And two, when we met with the, NDOT at, they had that informal meeting at Ario's that day. I believe they're starting the improvements right up, right in front of this lot. And they'll be, anything that we would do now would be tore out when they.
And that's a lot around the town, and we're fine with that, and we're fine with the waiver, but the fee in lieu of is what we're waiting on.
Yeah, we're holding that. We got nickel holding up $1. There's no doubt about it.
But the state's not gonna reimburse, they're not gonna put a sidewalk there if there's not one already planned to be there.
I'm not exactly sure of their plans. I know there's plans to do something there, but I don't think they finalized that yet. But my point is, anything we would do now would be tore up when they come through.
Yeah. NDOT most likely wouldn't be installing sidewalks anyway. They're not normally in the sidewalk business.
If they tore one out, they'd have to put it back.
Yes.
That'd be a pretty horrible place for a sidewalk.
Yes, I
Yeah.
agree, Heather. I agree 100%.
I
Okay.
believe those improvements are going
Yes.
to here and south, so to your point, yeah, they would likely get torn out.
Yeah, it'll be an urbanized section, but there was never any plan to put sidewalk with it. So, and just to clarify, the wall packs, are they going to be compliant?
The wall packs will be compliant, yes.
Okay. But like, essentially, we're waiving coverage requirements. This is not a nighttime business. We don't need
Yeah.
coverage.
Yeah, and the new lot to the north doesn't need any more light on it.
Exactly. So, we have no
So-
problems with it.
And the last is screening, right?
And then the screening, yeah. So that,
They're not required to have screening
Right.
technically.
Right.
It's, all the adjacent zoning is business. So, because there's a spike strip in the back that divides that between residential.
where the lean-to is.
It's a very long strip back here.
So it's not a waiver.
It's not a waiver, it's not required. It's really sidewalk and stormwater retention would be
Yeah.
your two.
Yeah, and the waiver, the lighting is, like Don said, coverage and poles and all that other,
Yeah,
all those other
which
goodies.
for this use isn't really required.
Okay.
Isn't needed.
All right, Rick, Jill, anything else? No?
No,
Okay,
we'll
all right,
anticipate this being a public hearing on June 16th.
okay. Okay, Don, 2 weeks?
Yeah, I think we'll be okay.
All right. Anybody have any other questions?
No, sir.
You guys have any questions? All good?
Please, so no.
Okay, all right. All right, good, thanks. Okay, item number 10, Cedar Lake Storage LLC, preliminary plat and final plat, one lot subdivision and site plan. Cedar Lake Storage LLC, 9019 West 133rd Avenue, Cedar Lake, Indiana, 46303. Petitioner Tim Porter, Cedar Lake Storage LLC, 9019 West 133rd Avenue, Cedar Lake. Vicinity is 9011 and 9019 West 133rd Avenue, Cedar Lake. Preliminary plat, one lot subdivision, final plat, one lot subdivision and site plan. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello, good evening, Tim Porter, 9019 West 133rd Avenue.
Okay.
Yeah, working on all these items, and Ryan here with DVG has been helping us on this, so.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to see you're not in the ambulance business anymore.
Yeah. Me too.
And you have some other construction things going on there right now? There's a pile of concrete and some other things?
Yeah,
Get the
correct.
building fixed up?
Yep, correct. And then, yeah, getting the definitive property lines established, and then working on the retention pond for water.
Okay.
And then the one lot subdivision also.
Okay. Building department, anything on this?
We had a meeting with them to discuss everything that's needed. Like they said, they've been working with Brian and DVG. We've had some communications going back and forth on this item. Included in your packet is everything. They will also be in front of the BZA, for the non-conforming buildings, the lot lines, setbacks, and the like.
For the existing buildings?
For the existing
Okay,
buildings.
right. Okay, Ted. Okay.
So you'll
All right.
see this
I'm not
multiple times.
sleeping.
As you know, you guys, you approved, the special use for the storage building has been approved.
Yeah. I knew the stormwater was gonna have to be worked through a little bit, but, so, Don, any comments? Is this on track?
We're about 95% done, and then I'm waiting on my surveyor to finish up the plat review, and it'll go out hopefully this week. But
Oh.
it's, yeah.
So you're thinking this will be here in 2 weeks?
Maybe. Probably
All right,
July.
what are you calling it?
July, it'll be June,
Okay.
BZA July plan commission public hearing.
So back here a month from now.
Okay.
Work session, and then
Okay.
public hearing in July.
All right. Okay,
And I had brought up to you about the kids that, catch their bus there, they got that bench there. Is that still going to be able to be used?
Yeah, technically it would, there would be no reason with the site plan we're showing to remove it, so.
Okay.
I wasn't sure what, I noticed that, on my trips out there on the survey, I wasn't sure it was for that purpose, but yeah, it's,
is it
You're
next to
showing
the
it-
building?
You're showing it as being removed.
am I?
Yeah, it's on your demo
It-
plan.
Is it,
Oh, well,
is it under the overhang of the building? Is that why the bench is there?
And you can just slide it into the future right away.
Well, it's one of those where I think I just, because I didn't know I thought it was part of the, like, it can remain, because I don't think we're extending the, pavement out that way.
You're not.
So, yeah, I didn't know.
I'm just concerned for the kids.
Yeah, we can, yeah, there shouldn't be a problem with being there. I mean, it's off on the west side of the property.
And I
Whose bench is it?
I don't know who built it, but.
Okay, all right.
It came out of the roller rink.
Well, and I think,
I doubt that.
I think after the plating process, I don't think that 30 feet was officially platted. This will do that, and then I think Don said that that does, lie in what would be the right of way,
It'll be close to it.
be close to it.
Yeah. I think we're gonna recommend 20 feet from the edge of the frontage road pavement. And I think the way we have it in the letter right now. And that'll be close.
Okay. Because I know Glenn was working on that today.
Yeah, I think he sent it right before I
Oh,
took
yeah,
off.
yeah.
So, yeah, this one's got some quirky utilities to it running through the parcel. And what's the intent for like operating hours for this? Is it gonna be gated 24 hours, lit 24 hours, or?
It was restricted in hours of the
Yeah.
BZA, like
Okay.
7 to 7.
Is that what you lock is behind you?
No, that was modified a little bit because of its special use also.
Okay.
I think they had recommended 7-7. I think,
We did, and, I mean, if there's a problem with those hours,
no,
you know,
I don't
with-
think there's a problem.
Okay,
I just
okay, I mean,
wanna make sure
Yeah.
Mr. Foreman knows where.
Well, I
where
think
that-
in the summer, they need to be able to let people in and out
Well,
later, because if you're on the lake
and, yeah,
until dusk,
and
you're
I
bringing
can,
your boat in, you might wanna run a spot here,
yeah, and I can tell you that, that was the consideration for
PCA.
the Econo storage in the old Great Oaks Drive-In.
Right?
And, there's some people who get back there a little late with their boats.
Is that right?
And, it's not a big deal, but it is, they do stay in the window of time usually, and,
Gotcha.
so, it's been approved 7 to 7 though, so, and we're that's where we are.
Gotcha.
And if they find a problem with that, they can go back to the BZA and see if they'd let them extend it.
Does this
I
exist?
think we had that discussion with them.
Or put it in John's Woods.
This is
He was talking about earlier.
That's a good spot.
I'm gonna get permission from.
I heard ya.
Fernando.
Okay.
You got the,
All right.
we gotta have plates though, Jerry.
Huh?
Gotta have registration
Not in the
plates.
woods, not,
Yeah, yeah.
no,
in
not
the
over the hill,
woods,
you
do
can't
you?
see anything back
Oh, you gotta have
there.
it.
Can't see anything back there, hidden in plain sight. Okay, I guess, does anybody have anything else for the porters?
I don't, no,
No?
that's
We're moving
good.
right along here?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I guess that's it.
All right.
Thank you.
Everybody's good, okay, we're good. Thank you very much. Let's see, update items, I think I'm on the right page, update items, Birchwoods Farms Phase 3, final plat, July meeting. Is that gonna be, on track, looks like?
It appears to be,
Okay,
if not, it'll be an update item.
okay. There was, they finally got caught up with the weather and everything they needed to do back there, Birchwood Farms.
They're getting there. We haven't had approval yet, they're getting there. We'll see how they progress.
Okay, well,
I mean, it's not like we don't have any other final plats, so.
yeah, well, let's not do any more of these, the night before things.
No.
Especially you.
Mm.
If you don't get it in enough time to do it, you don't get enough time to do it, that's all. So, comprehensive plan amendment,
Just a reminder that we have that special public hearing June 30th. the end of this month, for, the public hearing at the plan commission level, recommended to the council. Council meets right after the plan commission the same night, anticipated that we'll, that will be adopted that night. Got the special steering committee meeting tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. So just a reminder to those of you who are on that steering committee.
And I appreciate that reminder, Margaret.
Yes,
When are we
thank
seeing
you.
those documents then to review?
Hey, what documents you talking about?
The comprehensive plan.
Okay.
After the, steering committee meeting tomorrow night, Heather, then I would expect, if there's some tweaks to it, I would expect that the document will go out to you the following week.
I would imagine that's pretty hefty, right?
It's, I think 26 pages. Yeah.
If you come to the meeting, all the color, all the nice pictures will be there.
Yeah,
Should
which
be.
is great, but I would for sure like to review that before I
Yeah,
show up
sure.
at the meeting it.
And by the way, it's just the 41 corridor that we're concentrating on. So it's just an amendment, to the comp plan. It's not the entire town, just that 41 corridor.
And it's broken up into north of
Central.
133rd, south of 133rd.
And there's actually a
There's a
central,
central too, so
Central, okay.
like
All right.
129th to 137th or
Yeah,
something is
something like
central.
that.
Okay.
And then north of
All right.
that and south of that.
Yeah.
That's maybe a mile.
So you
maybe
anticipate next week we'll
Yeah.
receive that? The week of
Yeah.
the seventh? Okay,
Mhm.
thank you.
Okay, is there any public comment?
Can I keep going on update item?
Can you
We have Cedar
Sure,
Point
number
Unit-
three.
Cedar Point Unit 3, the performance letter of credit, if you'll remember, they extended the performance letter of credit for a very short period of time, anticipating it would switch over to maintenance. I anticipate having this on your next agenda for discussion if they aren't ready to switch it over with
Okay.
those dates, because that one had a very short time limit on it.
Okay.
And timing of meetings will run into crossing meetings, so we don't have another public meeting before this one would expire. Also, Domino's and Dunkin' Donuts, they're continuing to move forward with that plan, right over there on the roundabout.
Yeah.
Thank goodness, because we need more pizza.
And
Well, there was
Well,
there was a pizza place there.
Can someone share this plan, because this is,
Oh, you weren't here.
brand new to me.
You missed that one meeting.
Listen, I tried to get,
I will share that with you.
Jared,
That's-
we're
that's like
calling
John-
for pizza.
I will share that with you.
one meeting I missed.
And then
Yeah.
They're here for half of them, and I missed one.
Yeah.
We will be
Bull crap.
We'll be meeting with them to discuss any variances that they need for that property.
Okay, is this up the hill from the
Crossing the
old,
chamber.
crossing the
Crossing the
chamber,
chamber.
up the hill, including the house?
No, keeping the house.
House is gonna be
Keeping the
separate,
house.
No,
Bedbrook.
VRBO.
Okay, so it should.
Oh, my
They're
God.
anticipating leaving
That way
the
people
house
can grab
there.
pizza and coffee.
Yeah.
They're anticipating leaving that house there.
Yeah.
Okay,
The building's gonna have 3 units, Domino's,
Down
Dunkin',
to 2.
and then one
I've heard
retail.
that.
Down to 2.
and
Oh, they took one away?
and it's gonna need a drive-through plan that's like nothing you've ever had to design down.
They have better stacking now.
We
Put it
discussed that
that way.
with them then.
They have
You're
better
right.
stacking.
You're right, Jerry, yeah, stacking.
I know why you got that Ford Flex now. You got 10 years worth of crap in the back, don't you? Look at that.
He has
How about
two of
that?
them,
Like a
Jerry.
personal filing cabinet. Do you really?
He's got his
He
undercover
kept
one.
the other one.
I got 2 flexes now.
Ford's been good to you, Bob.
Gotta be a Ford.
So
That one-
where's the roundabout then?
It's up here.
Okay. Oh, that's
The
interesting.
chamber's over here.
Okay.
And then, Rick
Oh,
Abbott.
they're gonna run it at an angle then.
And this,
Yeah.
I walked that
Okay.
lot, it's a big, long lot.
So this is along where Zimmerman's used to live.
Yeah, that's,
Okay, right along the property line.
Samara's.
Yeah, yeah.
And, Rick Eberly suggested not having a window there, let them pull off here and park so that we don't block traffic out on the Lake Shore Drive.
Yeah, we can't do another Tasty Top, folks. Please,
Well,
please, no more Tasty Tops. That was a, I'm so regretful
That's
of that.
before me, so don't look at me. You can focus over there.
No, I'm
Hey, before me
I'm
too.
pleading.
Oh, okay. We'll blame Foreman.
Oh, no,
Yeah, yeah.
you were involved up to
Not
here.
with Tasty Top.
You were involved somehow.
Well, I'm sure I
You
was.
live too close.
Yeah, I do live
Well, that's
too
cool.
close.
That's cool.
It is cool, isn't
Okay,
it?
so there's 3 places?
Yeah.
Retail,
There's
Domino's?
Domino's here, Dunkin' Donuts here, and this is another retail.
Don said they went down to
I
two.
think they're,
Okay.
did
Oh,
they
they
do
went
with
down
the
to two,
retail?
and then
Down
this
to
is
two.
gonna be an
It's just
AB&B, house
They
rental.
shortened it up a
VRBO.
little bit.
I guess the question, Don, is when we have people running across the road from their boats, that's gonna have to really, really be addressed somehow, because we know that's gonna happen, just like a bugaboos.
Darwinism? I don't know.
We could build a walkway, yeah, up over, up and over, yeah.
Well, the fortunate thing is because
Yeah.
of that roundabout, no one's going
We'll
40
just,
miles an hour right there.
we'll just
Yes,
increase the
yes,
speed
but when your feet
limit.
are wet and you got your sandals on and you're dashing across the road, like when you come around the corner by Bugaboos, it's a
Well,
little,
listen,
it's a little.
You get hit once,
listen,
you're not gonna do it
there's-
again.
There's
Okay.
70-year-old
Thanks, Bob.
people that are crossing the street for the Eagles to go to bingo.
Yeah.
And we finally got a crosswalk there.
Yes,
So-
but their shoes are tied and
What's
their
wrong
feet
with
aren't
old
wet.
people?
You just start running
So-
off slow.
Okay. All right.
And what's wrong with being 70?
Nothing, if your shoes are tied. If you're listening,
I tie my,
And your glasses are on. Keep your glasses
I
on,
wear
your shoes
loafers,
tight.
so I don't tie shoes.
that's it, we never said anything about being a loafer.
Loafer?
We never said anything about that.
Mr. Chairman, I have a
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
Brenda, did you have something that you wanted to ask?
I asked for public comment
you did.
before and she never said anything.
I thought she was getting ready to.
Oh.
Randy Wiley of, Weezer and Wiley have advised me not to say anything.
Oh,
Okay, good.
Okay,
Worked out perfect then.
all right. All
I
right.
just wanted to be polite, and I thought maybe
Okay.
earlier when he asked for public comment, I thought you were gonna say something.
Well, she walked in before,
Not allowed to.
Okay,
when I walked in before, I was talking with my hands
gotcha,
and we almost had a crash over here, so.
gotcha.
Yeah, he almost,
She almost had to call her lawyer.
he almost knocked me out. So I'm
Hope they're
sorry.
getting him on a
Any more,
retainer.
word on water source?
Water source, any updates on the east side water source?
Well, it was reported last night that, we have settled with the, owner of the well, that, the water source that we've been seeking, so, yeah, it was reported by Mr. Austin at the meeting last night, so great news, moving ahead with that.
Well, I talked to Mr. Simstead today and he's, very, very happy at, the, upgrading and, which should be fairly simple.
So hypothetically speaking, does that solve the issue if that gentleman comes that wanted to build those 10, 12, 14
No,
houses?
it won't go that far south, Heather, at this point. At this point, it's trying to tie in the well source to the southwest corner of Robin's Nest.
Right.
Sorry. That's it.
No, you're
Yeah,
right.
Lady Robin's,
Lakeside,
It's
Crystal Oaks.
gonna help Robin's Nest, which is connected to Crystal Oaks Water Tower, and then that's phase A. Build the water tower, get that water, get that well to Lindway,
the water tower.
thus it goes to the well,
Yeah.
to the water tower. Phase B is go down Morris to be able to get to the property that the gentleman wanted to build, which personally, guys, if a person wants to come in and build something and he can't tie into a city water supply because we don't have one, individual wells are fine in my world.
Well, this is the second proposal we've had for that piece of land.
Yeah, and I think, hey, if it's not 80 or 100 homes, if the guy wants to put in 16 or 20 or 30 individual wells, so be
It
it.
was 24.
The whole community is made up of old, wells.
We don't know.
Yeah, but there's
The
old.
quality of the water may not be good,
I agree with you.
Well,
but,
Quality of the water is excellent.
yeah, but it may
Been
be,
there for 78 years.
yeah.
yeah.
No, the south side of Robin's Nest, the farm field back there,
Yeah.
I heard, Schilling bought all that farmland.
Yeah, I don't
They're
know.
just waiting for, waiting for the water source. So,
Yeah.
so back,
I just know that this community needs water, better water on the east side.
On the east
We
side,
think we
yeah,
have it
yeah.
now, so it's gonna help. And if down south has great water, that's awesome.
no,
But the town council approved it, the purchase of the well, but we don't have a plan yet how we're going to move it over there. And it will benefit, Lakeview also, which can only build 54.
Lakeside.
Lakeside.
Which
Lakeside.
can only build 54 houses now. Once they get the water, then they can complete the other 146 for their 200, lot subdivision.
Great.
Okay, since we're talking about rumors, Mr. Everly, has the golf course been sold?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay, we have a new owner of the golf course.
that's gonna be a subdivision
And we
too.
have
They haven't brought any plans.
We don't know
before us,
anything.
Chuck.
Yeah. Come on, John.
I mean, I expect that
Who's
that's
we?
what's gonna happen, yeah.
We is the
It's a residential
What about you?
developer.
plan commission.
What about you?
But,
I have no idea about anything. Other than, I didn't even know it was officially sold. Both sides?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He
The
bought,
whole kit
he
and caboodle.
bought, he bought Johnny's house and Johnny closed on the house with him already,
Yep.
so that's
He has
gone.
closed on it, John? Okay.
On the house he did.
Okay.
And then they're supposed to close, I thought it was right around now on the golf course. And then what I heard is he's supposed to sit on it for about a year, and then he'll start doing whatever he's planning on doing.
Wait for those building costs to come down, right?
Yeah, waiting for lumber to come
lumber
down.
costs.
Wait for
There's
the
not
ice.
gonna be metal and posts.
Yeah,
It's gonna bring
He
in
has
those
2
manufactured
other
homes.
lots.
Manufactured home community.
There you go,
we all block,
MH.
all concrete
Yeah,
homes.
just roll them in.
Okay,
By
well,
the way, there is a well on that property now.
Mhm.
There used to be a home there.
Yep.
And, all it takes is a hookup for electricity that works.
yeah, it's, I think that well's been looked at and, hasn't slipped anybody's mind. Is that, what is that, 12-inch, 10-inch? That well back there?
I heard it was a 12.
This
12.
one here?
Yeah,
I think 12, yeah.
12, yeah, it's a big one. Big one.
As a matter of fact, the fire department burned down the house that was there training twice. And that's why
They burned it down twice?
twice training.
Oh, okay, all right.
Not allowed them to come on and train.
Yeah.
You should know that.
Wait till I see him, I mean, you can't burn a house down the first time.
Yeah.
Twice.
Can't even do that right.
The tire tracks are still there.
So,
It was training.
yeah, I think that's funny,
You
John.
put
I
it
know you
out.
don't
I
think
like
it's
it.
funny, I think it's funny.
I'm not saying anything.
All right, I wish he was here.
They train very good.
Yeah. Okay, well, I have nothing else. I do appreciate, Jill's, MO that we discussed earlier, the accommodations for developers and things like that, and these piles and last minute documents. From what I understand, it's over.
Yep.
It's over. They don't get it here in time. They don't get on the list is too long. I guess the question is, Mr. Everly, what is too long? I mean, how many things on a list is too long?
Well, that's a great question, 'cause I don't know that we can limit that.
Okay.
But we certainly, we need to make sure we're giving ourselves enough time to review these things, be
So
prepared.
that should set a pace.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
8 things, 12 things, if they're quick and easy, they move right through.
Don needs to stop working these 16-hour days
Yeah.
and making things happen.
No,
for-
it's a problem.
It
He
is
needs
a
to
problem.
watch a Cub baseball game every once in a while.
He's 120.
And we're working on a process to get that more streamlined, and the developers are just gonna have to get used to, we're gonna be doing things on
On
our
our schedule.
time.
Yeah, your timeline,
Our
not their
time.
timeline.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
You gotta work on your timeline.
yep,
Yeah.
that's exactly
Well,
right.
and I appreciate, Don, you reiterating, when I asked about 2 weeks, on a couple of occasions tonight, you said, we'll see.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah, especially that
Everybody's
one.
busy right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially that one.
so, anyhow, if you get out there to look over that King Building situation, if you could, email all this, so we know where we're going with this, that makes everything easier.
Yeah, Jesus.
Will do.
Yeah.
That
It's such a
survey that was
simple thing.
attached was brand new.
What's that?
Wasn't he saying that we had an old survey?
It wasn't in your packet. That was back from, the survey was done like last May.
The survey that was in our
Yeah.
packet was done this May.
That's for his other parcel.
Yeah.
Not
That's
for
for
the
the other
King
one,
one.
that wasn't for the,
There wasn't any information for the King building.
That
That's
was
what we
for
were
the old
talking
guards building?
No, that was for the, huh?
The final plat was dated May 19th of this year.
I don't know if there was topo
Yeah.
on it though. There shouldn't be topo on a final plat,
Yeah,
so,
okay.
yeah.
Now, this is off subject, what about his residential area? You know, his residential house,
What about it?
the water?
That is a staff call.
He's tapping into the main. We
Yeah.
went out and identified the area where he's gonna have to cut the road to access the main, and he's gonna bore the, service line under the road to get to the south side, because the water main's only about 4 feet off of the north curb line.
Could you go up east towards the tracks?
And we looked at that too, and that's more problematic than, we did look at that, Chuck, and that creates more issues for the town than it's worth, because the town's responsible for the line from the
B-box
main
out.
to the B-box. And we would have a service, basically a residence service line running through the south right-of-way line of the road up to the point where
200.
B-box is, and we'd have 200 feet of the residence service line that we'd be responsible for. It has to run parallel to a force main, which we don't want to see happen. There's a number of utility conflicts there. Jerry had asked me about that too, about the possibility of tapping into the east, and that's even more problematic than just going under the road and getting to the north side of the road.
I got a stupid question.
No question is a stupid question.
Why the hell did they put the service main right down the middle of the road? Instead of on the side, on the easement, when they put the mains in? That road's been there forever.
I don't know how long's the water main been there. I have no idea.
The road's been there longer than the water main.
Wasn't that directional board? Wasn't that directional board?
That was before the town owned the water utility, that was summer utility thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a long time
That
ago.
makes sense.
Yeah, I have
So-
no idea.
That was put in when Havenwood.
And
When
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 you
you
do,
cross Tide with
I
Havenwood?
think Utilities Inc. used like Borit Corp. or a company like that.
They did.
to Put it in.
They did.
And they just went where
The
there was
answer to your-
no
The
pipe.
answer to your question is, no clue. No
So
clue.
And
it just went
util-
down- instead of going
utility-
by where an easement could be, where you can easily tap into it,
Yeah,
they just
right.
put it right down the middle of the road and
Yeah,
say,
we-
screw it. it's
Yeah,
not
we know,
us.
we know how it should be.
when Utilities Inc. put that in, they ended up backing up into our sewer system, and we had to work the street department around the clock to pump out our sewer
Yeah.
lines from when they put the water in.
I think when the water main did go in too, the road wasn't that wide. It was probably on the edge of the existing old road. Those curves didn't go in until,
But doesn't the water main go
15
underneath
years.
133rd to get up to the rock?
Yeah.
The railroad track?
It cuts
the
across
curve
there,
was
yeah,
there, so
yeah.
that was on the edge
yeah.
of pavement.
The
In
water
hindsight-
line's probably straighter than the road is.
Dick Hens should have
Well,
asked
it's dead
for a
straight.
waiver to hook up to city
But
water.
he didn't, when he came in here,
Well,
he said.
He agreed he'll do it. He
Yeah.
should
Sure,
have.
what?
Chuck, I said he should have
Well,
asked for a waiver.
let's try to make this as good as possible, though. If, what's going to happen there is exactly what you said. Any upsizing for future east or west at that point is the responsibility of the municipality, right?
I'm not sure what you mean.
I don't know.
Okay,
what that is.
so how big is the water line Mr. Hen needs?
He's
1 inch?
only running it, he's
only running an
putting
inch.
a 1-inch service.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a main.
Would it not be to everyone's advantage to pay for upsized piping to get under the road?
I don't think there's any capacity issues.
Who would need it?
Well, you got other
Trailer
houses, you go east or west there, or south.
I don't,
Yeah, but who
You don't-
needs it?
you
The
don't-
school's on it. The fire department's on it.
Yeah, but you're on the other side of the road now.
You got the
You're on the south
modular
side of the road.
home, speaking of modular home, to the east of Dick Hens' home.
Right, but,
Those folks have a well, they're not gonna wanna pay the water.
well,
bill.
I know that the statute states if there's any upsizing when something like this is done, the municipality has to pay for it. So who's responsible for the water line then under the road in the future?
He has, the next homeowner would be, if they have to tie in.
Wherefore,
So,
we're
okay,
responsible.
okay, well, that's what I'm getting at. So a house to the east wants to get on there, they have to go onto the main also?
Or do we tie into his 1-inch main?
Or do we make sure that what's coming to his house is big enough for the homes that are there?
That's what Jerry's saying, maybe
Yeah.
instead of
That's a
coming in
good
with
idea.
a 1-inch service line, maybe you come in with a 4-inch.
And then taper it down at the B-box?
Yeah, and then put a T in there, and you know, if you need to go east or west someday, you got it.
Future expansion.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
he's got 9 acres behind him,
If
so,
I were him, I would've,
I don't understand what's going on here.
I would come back now to the planning
There's only
commission and ask
two
for a
houses
waiver
east
now,
of him.
cause he's already got a well there.
But you know what?
yeah, but it was a
But
condition.
I don't think
I
he
don't
wants
agree
to
to
go
that
through with it.
because if you remember on 41,
No,
when he has some
I'm
strip
just
mall,
saying,
no, just when he
hypothetically.
has strip mall and the storage units.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
supposed to run it all the way to 41. and you asked for a waiver, you stopped right there, you didn't wanna tear up the
Do you
parking lot.
remember why? We asked him to tear up the parking lot.
Right.
He said, forget it.
Connect to 41,
Yeah.
so now, it's the next guy, he sold it off, now the next guy's gonna be responsible for it.
His responsibility
But
was.
that's separate from this. This parcel.
Well, it's
Yeah.
just something that's not finished, that's why he's relating it to this.
Yeah.
That's right, but
That's his-
back to what I'm saying, Rick,
We need to complete
if you
it.
bring something bigger, I mean, I don't think anybody, well, chime in, if we use taxpayers' money to upsize that to get something decent on the south side of the road for the future, I just don't see how that's
Not smart.
not smart.
Yeah.
I just,
I like the idea.
What's tapping onto this? Who's tapping onto?
you have those
little
other,
mini
you have
mini?
those other houses there,
So
you have
he's
the
saying
trailer
if
court, you have all that
Somebody
back
wants
there.
to do something at the trailer court, now we have an opportunity to go to it.
So you're essentially doing a water main extension, but with no enforcement to have anybody hook onto it. You can't force people to hook onto your main.
No,
Existing non-customers, I don't think you can do that.
no, we put that in there.
Sewer you can, but not water.
Right.
Yeah, sewer's gotta be, what, 150
It's
feet?
like it'd be
300,
voluntary.
I think.
Okay, so,
Most people will not connect
so you're
to it.
saying that 4-inch line could be there forever and
Never be used.
never be used? Okay, all right, well, I'm looking for a good argument.
I just
I mean,
think,
really.
I
I
think it's
understand.
to our
Yeah, I
advantage that
understand.
he doesn't hook on. It's just messing up the road, number one. Number two, opportunity for dirt and mud, whoever does the hookup,
Well,
contaminating the water. But he got his approval by us and then by the council with the fact that he would hook up.
Well,
We
he
checked the
stood here, he
minutes.
stood here and agreed to
So
every
the-
single thing.
Yeah, and he's not fighting it, not arguing.
No, I
it.
understand.
I'm
I
just
understand.
saying out loud,
Right.
I wish now he would have asked for a waiver because we wouldn't have to screw up our nice road.
Well, you weren't at all those meetings
Yeah,
that
you're
put
right.
all this together.
You're right.
Because there was a lot of conversations going on, and, I know this was, perhaps discussed last night across the street over here a little
No.
bit.
Not necessarily, no, it was in the meeting. It was in
Well,
the
what's
meeting.
that old
Road's only
saying,
gonna
what's
last for
done
about
is
3 years
done?
anyway.
Yeah, what's done is done, you're
What's
right.
done is done, tap him in and let's go home.
Mr. Everly
Wait,
said,
good
Mr.
idea,
Everly
John.
said it's gonna happen, and that's it. So anyhow, no more public comment?
Make a motion, meeting's
Ricky, you
adjourned.
can't say anything either?
Good.
I
Okay,
second it.
All right,
Can't say anything.
lights out.